In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What is the deal, Panther fans? Good day to be a Panther fan. We are 2-0 to start the 2021 season, and we are pumped as a motherfucker. Hell yeah! Damn, the Panthers defense is top of the top. Top of the top. Pick a category at the top. Put what we started down. We started at the bottom. Now we're here. We started at the bottom. Now we're here. Tonight's show, folks. Thank you for joining the C3 Panthers podcast. Tonight's show is the Panthers defense enters the primetime spotlight as Carolina heads to the Houston Texans, 2-0, facing a team that had some excitement, but now their excitement has been hamstrung as their starting quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, has. Don't worry, we got to. Oh, it's funny. Tyrod Taylor, our guest Matt Weston will be talking about him as we get there. Hey, look, it's the C3 Panthers podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. My name's Tony Dunn. You can follow me on Twitter at cat_chronicles, and every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. my man Cody Lashney in the co-pilot seat. The man, the myth, the legend, the producer, the dude who just puts the hard dick on the face of the Saints. You were excited in the post game, homie. Welcome back.
Hey, man. As always, there's no way I'd rather be on a Tuesday night than talking about these Carolina Panthers with my boys, Tony, Greg, and CK. And, of course, Tony, you already know that we're going to do it with the most lit Panther fans in all of YouTube. You know them. You love them. It's Underground West, Tin, Tizzy, Sideshow, Rob, AJ, Lindsay, Caleb, Zach Simmons, Nick Montiero, 89 J Stubbs, Lance Kubiak, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
Thank you, 89 J Stubbs, the angel investor of all Panthers podcasts. My man. Do not worry, homie. We are not laying the egg in this prime time. This team's going to go in there and smoke these fools.
Absolutely.
And actually, I don't even like to call them fools because I respect what David Culley and them are trying to do and not roll over and die. But, folks, it is over. They ain't got their quarterback. This defense is about to murder this kid, CK.
Oh, absolutely. 89 J Stubbs throwing down some of that money he earned from the money line last week when he bet against the Saints in the Panthers' favor there, throwing down that $5 Saints, man. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, we're over. I think not. Listen, this is an interesting week. I think it's one that we're all kind of like super excited for because you feel like this is the game you've got to show up and show out, right? This is it. And so we've got this high anticipation of what we're going to see. Keep in mind, we're going up against the defense that isn't bad, right? They've got 5 interceptions on the year already through 2 games. That's not a bad stat line. 2 of which is going to be from Reed in that safety position. These guys are going to be, tenacious on that defense, but you got to think our defense is going to be able to eat this offense alive of the Texans, and I'm super excited about it. 2 days to go, short week. Let's get it going, guys.
Greg, I feel like you're my next door neighbor back 3 times in a row. I love it. And I got to say this, after listening to me get pumped up and yelling up and down, seeing Cody over there sexually excited, and then CK saying we got to roll these mugs up. Are we looking ahead of the Houston Texans to the Cowboys? Are we going to get caught napping like that, homie? I don't want to be like that. But I feel like I am.
You know something,
like I'm already looking ahead to Dallas.
Normally, I try to be the voice of reason. I really do. But fuck that this week, man. We're going to beat the shit out of the Texans this week. I'm so excited. It's been such a great week to be a Panthers fan. Everybody at work, man. It's like it's so funny, like when your teams win or do well, people congratulate you like you've done something. But it feels so good, like
dapping you up in the
when your team
hallway.
wins a big championship. Everyone's like, "Congratulations, man! Good job, good job." I'm like, "Yeah, I was a great fan. I helped them out, whatever." But
and you're so excited, you take all the credit too. You're like, hell yeah, dude!
Right.
It was
because of me.
Hard fought victory. We got it going. Yeah, absolutely.
I made sure to wear my lucky underwear.
But I don't even care, man. I soaked that all up this week. And here's the thing is we talked about last week as a measuring stick game. And now, of course, they're talking about this week as a measuring stick game. We looked it up before the show. 2015, we were ranked 20th in the power rankings after week two. This week, we're ranked 18th. So we're still getting no respect. And to be honest with you, I don't think unless we beat the ever-living shit out of Houston,
they're not going to do anything either.
They're not going to give us any respect after that either, because they say, well, they didn't have a quarterback and then blah, blah, blah. They're going to make all these excuses.
And it's going to be 10 days after the win. So like they were not that long, but they're not, by being the Thursday night team, it's old news by the time they make the power rankings. So whoever is the darling on Sunday or whatever.
So I feel like we're kind of stuck in that spot, No. But other than that, man, it's great to be a damn Panthers fan this week. I'm telling you, and I'm riding this high until somebody takes it away from me. So we'll hope Thursday. I'm off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm gonna get off Thursday early.
Man.
I get to watch the game Thursday night, and
you're gonna get on football overdose, homie.
Oh, I know I will.
You're gonna OD on football this weekend.
I'll take it.
There's no better way to die, baby.
That's right.
All right, so we got a good show for you guys tonight. Matt Weston is joining us, Houston blogger and the Red Radio blog. Hold on. I feel like I always screw this up. Why did I do that right away?
No, it's the Battle Red blog.
Thank you. Battle Red blog and Battle Red Radio. Matt Weston's going to join us at 9:30 to preview this Houston team. Things on my mind, Cody, so I'm just going to go ahead and preview on what I'm thinking about asking him right away is we got to think about their quarterback position, Ty God Taylor, as they call him, is hurt. And then Miles Davis. Not Miles Davis is the dang musician. Davis.
Definitely not
Davis
Miles
Mills.
Davis. Davis Mills will be unfortunate enough to make his rookie NFL start against the Carolina Panthers.
Tough.
And so I've done a little bit of research when looking at this matchup, and apparently their offensive line, when pass protecting, they ain't too shabby. And they've actually given Tyrod Taylor some decent time to throw the football. So believe it or not, this might actually be a good test for our defensive line. That is, by the way, coming off a legendary performance. Can I just really quick read off a list of all the categories that were number one in on defense?
It's so good. I'm going to tell you my favorite when you're done, too.
Yards allowed.
Actually, I want all of y'all to do this. As he reads the list off, I want you to pick your favorite category. That's your favorite one that you love the most. I already got mine.
So, dude, we're number one in yards allowed per game at 190. We're number one in points allowed per game at 10.5. We're number one in passing yards allowed per game at 143.5. We're number one in rushing yards allowed per game and 46.5 yards.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
We have the most sacks in the NFL at 10 NFL sacks. We also have the most quarterback hits at 21 and the highest third down percentage at 25.0.
Is there a category we're not first in? And if the only one that matters,
turnovers. Yeah, turnovers are probably going to be the biggest.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh. Okay. So, can I go
Please.
on this one? Honestly, there are two categories that I think are honestly the most important, and that's the third down percentage and the points allowed. But I'm not going to pick that as my favorite because those are easy. That's low hanging fruit, man. For me, it's the sacks, man. The sacks, dude.
Yep.
I love seeing sacks. I
wait,
love
the
seeing
others
Carolina
are
get
low hanging
sacks,
fruit. Then you go and pick sacks.
Oh, I don't care, man. I don't even care. That's a little bit higher than those.
He
man.
went to the top of the tree. He said,
"Oh,
yeah,
they're so fun."
Hey, by the way, shout out to Lance Kubiak for the $4.99. It says, been with you guys for 3 seasons. Thank you guys for helping pass the time at work. Glad to see you continuing to bring more content. Fire. Thank you, Lance Kubiak.
My man.
We're definitely putting out more content for you guys. If I'm going to pick one of those stats that I love the best, you know what? I'm going with that third down conversion rate.
Man, it's great.
Thanks for taking mine.
Off of the field, dude. Get the fuck off the field, especially if you're at home. Get that converting on third down bullshit out of here. We ain't trying to have none of that. And right now, listen, man, we might need to talk about potentially, especially after this Thursday night performance, depending on what we do, as Phil Snow being one of the very best defensive coaches in all of the NFL.
It's
really
good possibility.
I love the hyperbole coming into this show already.
The crazy thing about it, you got to keep in mind, and this is what's going to lend to Cody's point. Like, this isn't like he's coming in here. Everybody was confused by him last year. And, by his, Aaron Rodgers, all these people, nobody knows what to define his defense as. They still don't know what to do. Sean Payton has seen him twice last year, and now he sees him again, and they still don't have an answer for it, right? So that's why Phil Snow continues to adapt. He continues to show that he is honestly, in my opinion, probably one of the brightest and probably one of the smartest defensive coordinators that I've seen. I don't know if you guys watch many of his press conferences, but Phil Snow,
he's the best, dude. He's like the coolest fucking dude in the world, man.
You cannot watch his pressers and not feel like he is fucking amazing. And that's a problem, because I don't know how much longer he's going to be around here and not in a head coaching position. Yeah. Do you guys think that's coming?
Too old.
That's what I was going to wonder. Do you think that's going to happen, or is he in the position where he's like,
Vic Fangio, the quarterback the coach for the Broncos, is an old ass dude too.
How old?
So I don't know. Vic Fangio is not young. I know that.
Hey, can I put it in
old?
Matt Rule did say today that Phil Snow is the best coach that he's ever known. That Matt Rule used to have to go and
I tried to tell y'all this from the beginning. I've been on the Phil Snow train from the beginning. I loved him from the very first moment. He's got this like gritty charisma where it feels like he would, no matter what happens, it's like this dude's gonna hit the best golf shot all the time or something. He's gonna he's dope as fuck. But I think he is gonna I think he wants to roll with Matt Rule.
I agree. I
think they want to be. I think he's fine being that tandem. I think we got to be Joe Brady, the young guy. I think these two guys are trying to roll together and beat up some mugs.
Let me tell you something else that's going to make you love Phil Snow even more. Matt Rule said that after the game, after they won on Sunday, Phil Snow didn't even leave the building. He spent the night in the actual headquarters.
He showered there.
He woke up there Monday morning and was ready to prepare for that. Like, that's the dedication this guy has. And like, I think that shows the type of work ethic that you want out of a squad. And it's going to start at the top. How often have you seen somebody get promoted to a position of power and use that as a way to not have to work as hard and delegate all of their responsibilities to somebody below them? Right.
And the team is buying in too.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like. It feels different, and I'm hoping that it continues down that road. I really, really, really do not want this to become a scenario like in 2019 when we started out 5-1, and then it just went to fucking hell.
Yeah, but I also think
what was that 2019?
That was due to injury.
That
was the Pittsburgh game.
No. We had Cam. We didn't even have Cam that year at all.
Oh.
Like, he got
that
hurt
was
in the
when
preseason.
Heineke went 5 and something.
No, Kyle Allen went 5-1 or something like that, and we were like, people were like, "Oh my god,
we had
Peppers." Really well.
We had an old team then. We had an old team.
It's true. Kyle Allen.
So I don't think I think this team's gonna get better as the season goes on. When it comes to Phil Snow, I need the chat room. I gotta put the chat room on something. In the Discord room, you can check out the Discord link. It's in the show notes. I need you to find out if Phil Snow's married, folks. Like, because if he is married, then that means he's got the coolest setup in the world, which means this. I got 2 guesses about Phil Snow. He's either married, where he's been married forever, they've got some sort of fantastic relationship, maybe 3, because then death could be one of these, but they have this great relationship that they've been in for the last 40 years. She's been with this man in Detroit when he was a coordinator. She's been all over the country. They've had kids. The kids have grown up. They got grandchildren, and Grandpa Phil Snow only needs to do 2 things in life, and that is watch football, coach the Carolina Panthers, and then on Christmas Day, hug his grandchildren, or on Tuesday, hug his grandchildren. That's all he's got. He's got football. Or he doesn't have a wife, and he only has football. And this dude lives, eats, and breathes. Dude, this guy is awesome, man.
Yeah.
He's so scruffy. I feel like he would eat pickled egg in the gas station.
Oh yeah, he would.
The
pickled sausage.
I got it.
Yeah. hey, by the way, here's another stat that I think you all might like. The Panthers have started 2-0 7 previous times in their history, and they've made the playoffs in 6 out of those 7 years. 2002 being the only exception.
Nice.
Right now, the Panthers are on track to really have an incredible year this year. And I think that's something that we had all been keying in on before this season started, is that this defense has the opportunity to be special, man. So far, through 2 weeks, they've been special.
I got a crazy stat for you right now. We got 42 or 94 people in the chat room and 42 thumbs up. That's a crazy stat. You should fix that one.
Hit them with that special shame.
Chat of the C3 Panthers podcast. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, because right now it's subscriber shame.
Subscriber shame. 94 people watching. 47 people have hit the thumbs up. Hey, listen, we don't ask you to donate. It's always appreciated. But the one thing that we always ask you to do is to hit the thumbs up button, man. That's how you show love to the C3 family. We're going to continue to be here all year. Hell, the C3 podcast is around when there's no football to be had. We're here for y'all year round. So especially during this football season, hit the like, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification bell so that way you're notified for all this fire content that we're continuously dropping over the course of the week.
If you want consistency, this is the podcast. We have every Tuesday. It's never failed. We have every post game. We have content throughout the week. Like if you are, especially I know during the up seasons, we're constantly hungry for more Panthers content. If you're into that, you've got to hit that notification bell, because we have so much stuff coming at you throughout the week. It's almost a daily thing now. So just guys, keep an eye out for that stuff. And I think it's going to be worth your time. We're really trying to, make a concerted effort to keep you guys, with some things to look forward to every night.
Tonight's show has been fun already, but we've got a primetime game on the horizon, and we've got Matt Weston from Battle Red Blog and Battle Red Radio coming in at 9:30 to help us preview this game. We'll also have your calls later in the show. The number is 252-228-5098. I did not give my stat, guys, on my favorite.
Yeah, man.
Because everybody took all of them. Took all these great ones. The third down for opponent third down is pretty dope.
Yeah,
25%.
Awesome.
Like, man, that really says a lot about what you're doing on the other downs, in my opinion, right?
That's championship style defense.
That run, though. So since you guys took that one, I'll take that. Tell me what that run one was again. It's
40, 45,
oh, insane.
40,
46.
Come on.
Yeah.
I'll pull it back.
It's like a mid 40s, bro.
That would be less impressive if we hadn't faced Alvin Kamara.
I agree.
That would be so much less impressive if it was.
I think it's just impressive, period. But the fact that you have Alvin Kamara.
Rushing yards allowed per game, 46.5.
Yes,
dude, that's fucking
insane.
Bananas.
And that's going to be even more insane if after we face Dallas, it's still under, I'd say, 75 yards a game with that duo they have in the backfield.
I'll be honest with you, Dallas isn't going to be a problem in run game, in my opinion. Ezekiel Elliott has not been the Ezekiel Elliott.
Pollard, man.
Good,
Pollard, dude, but his body looks good.
Yards.
His body looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So, by the way, 89 J subs for the 199 says, wait until we beat Dallas.
I agree.
I agree.
Because they're America's team. Yeah, we beat them.
Yeah, 100%. And that'll be a good test for our defense because they have a lot of weapons on their receiving core, man. CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup. That's going to be a really big test. Also, shout out to Nick Monteiro, my Friday free-for-all co-host. It says, love you guys. You make my week better every week. 42-6 Thursday with 5.5 sacks.
Oh, I like it.
Pounding.
I like it.
Friday.
I like that.
My man, Nick.
Yes.
Hell yeah, man. Dude, if we can continue to do that, I mean, listen, I think our defensive backfield might even be more important than our pass rush. Like, really give him some post-snap looks, change the coverage and really get him questioning what he's looking at downfield.
He's going to have no time, though.
Make some well-timed blitzes. Hurt him. I mean, really scare this young quarterback making his NFL debut. Introduce him to Brian Burns in the worst kind of way.
I say you pick up the Carolina Panthers defense in fantasy right now.
I already got him.
This matchup. If you don't got him in this matchup,
right.
The Texans have been able to put up points, though. Well, they don't have
Tyron
Taylor. Sorry, you're right. I forgot they don't
Taylor. Yeah, man. This is Tyron Taylor, who was like 11 for 12 against Cleveland in the first half. Like, so when Matt Weston comes on later in the show, these guys I've listened to some Houston podcasts after week 1 and 2, and these guys were hyped after week 1 because they had negative expectations.
And now,
kind of like it, and then they even had a good first half against Cleveland. And then all of a sudden it went from us being like on them being on this kind of super high, like we're playing with house money for the rest of the season, to like now we're going to be what we expected to be. Right. So it was a deflation of balloon. But I did want to go back just to the rushing stat real quick. Imagine if you took out the quarterback, like 80% of those rushing yards came from Zach Wilson just scrambling around a little bit.
Yeah.
Like 8 yards here, 6 yards there.
Absolutely.
The Winston touchdown. Like, so they've really given up like 8 yards to running backs.
Designed runs have been snuffed out by this defense very well. And I think Cody may have mentioned it. It's because of those big guys in the middle. They're staying true to their gaps. They have incredible gap assignment, and that allows the linebackers to come up and stop the run very quickly and efficiently if the tackles happen to let the run get through the get past the first line of defense. Listen, it's incredible to watch this defense and the way that they're playing. They're looking very disciplined. And like I said, we've all been very we all know I've been critical of Dante Jackson. Dante Jackson has had some big time plays against some big time players. And even if you watch his his press conferences, like, I cannot help but have changed my mind about this guy.
He's really mature.
I've always loved him.
Really mature.
I did not love him his first 3 years. I did not love him his first 3 years. I thought that
you liked him the first year. Everybody liked him in year 1.
I still had criticisms on his first year. I still said, listen, the guy has gotten beat too many times. You got to remember how badly he got beat by Calvin Ridley multiple times. Like, it wasn't like he was locked down corner. In most of those interceptions, I had criticisms like it wasn't like he was playing such incredible coverage that it was bad throws by a quarterback that threw it right into his chest, and one that he had to make an acrobatic catch, and I applaud him for. But I did not have I was not a big fan of Dante Jackson up until I would say this year. This is the first year I've really believed in this guy, and I think that I have no problem saying that at this point in time I was wrong. I think that he had the potential, and he's showing up now. We'll see as he continues to face bigger and better talent. I think we've got to be challenged by a better quarterback. Once that happens, I think then we're going to know. But right now, I'm high on Dante Jackson.
His
glad to have you on that
tackling
train.
has been fantastic.
Amazing.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that's why it's sticking out to you, or to all of us, is the tackling, bro. He's been
I
getting
feel-
in there and making real sound tackles.
Open field
Not
tackles on
these-
Alvin Kamara.
Not these
Yeah.
like trying to go after your ankles.
He
You know
did
what I'm
do
saying?
that.
Like you're
He
there.
did try to just bang Alvin Kamara to the ground at one point, and luckily Alvin was slowed down enough to where somebody else was able to come in. But had Dante Jackson did a proper wrap up, that wouldn't have been an issue. But he's had plenty of others to make up for that, so I'm not even worried.
Hey, real quick before I forget, Ross Gould with the $5 says, "I feel like it's 2015 all over again. People dogging us for who we play. Just win games and keep pounding, baby. It's as simple
That's
as
a
that right
good
there.
comment.
Absolutely.
It's
Right
as simple
there.
as that right there.
Mhm.
And shout out once again to 89 J Subs. Ticket price is already up 50. If you plan on going, get tickets sooner than later.
We got to plan it, guys.
Man, all right. So we don't want to get caught looking ahead to Dallas. So we're not gonna look ahead to Dallas. We've got Houston on the horizon. But just briefly, is there anything circling back to this past game that you feel is worthy, or any developments at this point? I think some of the questions for the reporters have been about AJ Bouye. But what was that? That Melvin kid? The Melvin kid played. I mean, obviously we didn't
Rashawn
remember
Melvin?
his. Yeah, like he played like a bunch of snaps in this game. Do you think that Bouye just comes in and starts playing from moment one? I don't know.
I mean,
I think so.
listen, I
They
think
traded for
he's been preparing. You know,
traded for him,
he
sorry.
knew that he would come back around this time, and he knows that this team is really doing something big on defense. So yeah, if you're a player, you want to put your best foot forward and show that, you know, hey, you are one of the key missing pieces to this defense. There was two more things I wanted to go back to the Saints game for before we move on to the Texans even further. And I love these stats. We may have said them last post game show, but I just think it bears repeating. The Panthers held New Orleans to 128 yards, the fewest allowed in the 54-game all-time series with the Saints, and the fewest for New Orleans under head coach Sean Payton, who took over in 2006. Carolina recorded 4 sacks, had 2 interceptions. The Panthers' 10 sacks in the season's first 2 weeks are the second most through 2 games in franchise history. The only time we were better was 1998, in which we had 12. Hell yeah. So right now, our defense through 2 weeks is better than it was in 2015. Just saying.
Insane.
Just saying.
That
Just saying.
2015.
I wouldn't even
Ross
say,
Gould that's in it. Is just let it roll, baby.
yeah.
You know, like let the good times roll. We were on that joint here. We were doing that, Joey and I, and Mel, and we just got to witness, like it was just this. It was just fun. You didn't even realize it was how fun it was, because you go from the guy that's not being taken serious to, wait a second, we just dog it every motherfucker in the world. Like it was just like you felt like you couldn't lose. We're a ways to get there. I tell you that.
Yep.
Don't worry, folks. It's 2-0. The Panthers have started 2-0 and not had.
Oh, I remember something.
Oh,
too
give me
that we
the
did.
playoff stat or whatever.
Well, no,
I
no,
remember
not
that
even
year, that Antoine Cason year, we started out hot, and
Hey,
that
but-
shit sucked. Him and Deku. That's what it was. Deku.
I have to get everyone's
That was
opinion
2012,
on
I think, maybe.
this.
20...
Before we talk to the Texans guy, Pat Elflein has been put on IR. And
on IR?
yeah, that happened earlier this morning.
I heard that Matt Rule said that he knew he wasn't gonna play this week, but I didn't hear IR. That's what.
That is crazy.
Not the short term or long
the
term.
Panthers. Yeah, sometimes you make me second guess myself, but yeah, according to Derek Gant, the Darren Gant Panthers placed guard Pat Elflein on injured reserve Tuesday. So yeah, this is really happening. And what have I been saying on this podcast for a long time that the offensive line that we start the year with is not going to be the one that we finish with. And I mean, I hate to say it like this, but everyone's kind of already thinking of it in these terms. Is this for the better? Because potentially there could foresee a scenario where, maybe Deontay Brown gets to dress, now because they're short at that guard position in terms of depth. Hey, maybe someone's going to be able to step up and fill in for that spot where Pat Elflein has been a real liability for us.
Mhm.
So
Possibly.
man, that's that's certainly something to keep an eye on.
You're listening to the C3 Panthers podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night, 9 p.m., we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. We've had a lot of content coming out. Tomorrow night, we have Josh Klein joining us for the Wednesday Beat Report. I think that's what I'm going to start naming it, guys, as we pop in some beat writers for the Carolina Panthers on Wednesdays to help us preview the game. But tonight, we've got our guest tonight, Matt Weston from the Battle Red blog, also Battle Red Radio, joining us and to help us preview this Houston Texan game. And I gotta say, I gotta ask would be the question, is how did the excitement level after week one of dominating the Jacksonville Jaguars to this sensational start for Tyrod Taylor to the injury, what did that do to your expectations of this season? I felt like you guys were about to win the division, if I've heard right.
Yeah, it never got that far at all. It's definitely the Texans were unwatchable without Tyrod Taylor out there. And, Taylor's been really interesting for the Texans, even like 6 quarters of football, because we knew a few things about him from his stints in Buffalo, Los Angeles, and Cleveland. It's that he's risk averse. He doesn't throw interceptions. He doesn't take sacks. When he was younger, you could use him as an integral part of the run game. At age 32, wasn't really expected that much to be used like that. As a deep thrower, he doesn't throw like with a lot of accuracy. He kind of puts up there for guys to go up and get it. And but like this version of Taylor in Houston's been entirely different. He made 4 really enormous plays against the Jaguars in week 1 that lets that win over there. And then against Cleveland, he had 2 really big plays with that screen pass that he threw. And it was also kind of set by the offense by him being more mobile. They're able to run a lot of RPOs and play action and bootlegs that kind of never leaves the defense settled at all. And they had that scramble for a touchdown too that made that game 14-14 before the half. But then with Davis Mills, I think Mills had QBR of 9.8 and Taylor had a QBR of 94.5. And they were just absolutely dreadful and unwatchable after we went from Tyrod Taylor to Davis Mills.
Matt, did your chances in this game drop to effectively 0 now that Tyrod Taylor is out? I mean, how much? I mean, speaking, if you're a Texans fan, you really don't know a ton about Davis Mills. But, and correct me if I'm wrong here, I think that you guys have been pleasantly surprised by the Texans' offensive line, specifically in pass protection, and that they've given Tyrod Taylor enough time to get the ball downfield to Brandon Cooks, among a few others. And now Nico Collins went to IR too. So you're going to be short some weapons. What is this Texans offense answer, or what is their answer going to be to this Carolina Panthers pass rush? And is there a worst possible game to start your rookie career as a quarterback than this one right here?
Yeah, I'm afraid of Davis Mills' health and well-being. I've been praying for him all week. I don't know if he's going to survive at all on Wednesday. And there's been like a lot of talk. Like I've been negative about Mills, but it goes back to what he did in Stanford. Also, it's not just like one half of football at all. It's also his 3 years at Stanford that he played there too. He's not very athletic. He's slow in the pocket, and he has 0 pocket awareness at all. And you saw what happened to Jameis last week in New Orleans, picking up 4 sacks, and Wilson picked up 6 sacks. And in both those matchups too, like the Saints have had the same offensive line for a while. I know Ruiz replaced McCoy, and they have Throg Hampton there at left guard. This guy switched stuff up over there, but they're typically really good at picking up stunts and blitzes. But there's free rushers all day against both those teams. And the problem that Texans pass protections had is they've been winning their 1 versus 1 matchups really well. but they've had troubles picking up stunts. They've notoriously had problems picking up blitzes, and that's what Carolina's been doing with a lot of success the first 2 weeks of the season. And with Mills is like lack of athleticism, his inability to escape the pocket, like him just staring left at his first read and having zero idea what's coming from his blind side. Like Grant Delpit crushed him, and Grant Delpit's known for not being able to tackle very well at all. Turn Grant Delpit into Jeremy Chin or Brian Burns, and he may actually die. Like I'm very afraid for Davis Mills' well-being on Thursday. It's going to be horrifying. Yeah.
Hey, well, at least you have Jack Esterby over there to pray for him.
Exactly. He'll at least he'll say his last rites as the last breath leaves his body.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you think part of so I've been listening to a lot of your work and other Houston blogs or podcasts and stuff, and there was felt like a sort of we're playing with house money after week 1 under the cloud of Deshaun Watson. And I'm not even interested in talking about Deshaun Watson. The fact that you had David Culley, who comes in, I go on a radio show every Friday and they have a segment that's called Poor David Culley. And it's like, this poor guy's got to deal with this. This poor guy's got to deal with this. He got like all of these things. And in week 1, you come out there and it's better than average. Were you playing with house money? And now does the loss of Taylor ultimately make you back to where you expected the Texans to be?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. I mean, I had zero expectations for this year. I wrote a season preview and I predicted them to win 4 games. And I was like one of the more optimistic people by picking 4 wins. A lot of people were picking, 1 win or 0 wins or 2 wins or whatever. And I just thought like, there's enough veteran talent there that they play some young teams and who would make some mistakes and the turnover differential will be better too. And they kind of lucked their way into some wins also. But like just having like a really fun 6 quarters of football when we were expecting, 0 fun quarters of football and just like a really boring, drawn out, run attack that run the ball a lot, not because they're good at running the ball, but because it's a lot safer than, throwing the ball at all whatsoever. And so like seemed like a really interesting offense from, Tim Kelly start off the year has been a lot of fun too. And like have that like, pulled out beneath our feet, like already was crappy, to start the year off. But yeah, I think house money is a good way to put it. Like to go from having 0 expectations all whatsoever to having like a fun 6 quarters.
You like won $40 on your first hand of blackjack,
exactly.
And you're like, I'm gonna sit here and try to make this into 2 hours.
I'm gonna get enough free drinks for 2 hours after this $40 I just won, and
Exactly.
we ended up blowing it all the next hand anyway. So,
how has David Culley been? Because again, like I said, is we got it's not even rooting against him. I'm rooting for him at this point. Lovie Smith too. Not Lovie Smith. Is that right? Who's the defensive coordinator?
Yeah, it's Lovie Smith. I couldn't believe it also when they hired him. It's like, there's no way like this is a real thing. And it was kind of like glossed over, like of all the ridiculous things that's happened that Lovie Smith's playing a cover 2 defense in this time in NFL history.
That bothers you?
It's not really that it bothers me. It's more just like it doesn't work and it hasn't worked for a long time. And like at least like they know how to run it. It's kind of the nice thing to say about like Carolina runs cover 2 a little bit, like every team kind of checks to it sometimes, but they've run according like ESPN, they had a stat like because they're able to use the coverage map charting from the player tracking information, and they've run cover 2 on 55% of their snaps this year defensively. And like you see games where Baker Mayfield didn't complete only 2 passes. He was 18 for 20 last weekend. The only way they stop any drives at all is through turnovers. And so for them to win games, they have to have games like they had against Jacksonville where they force 3 turnovers. Sometimes it's probably going to take 4 turnovers just because they can't get any stops the other way, and the run defense is bad too.
Is Culley better than Bill O'Brien?
Oh, for sure.
Upgrade?
Oh, for sure. And it's like with David Culley, like it was kind of looked at as like a scapegoat sort of hire. Like it was mainly like a culture thing because nobody liked this team after Bill O'Brien left. He kind of turned a lot of people off. The Easter thing was, really putrid as well too. And like the move was just kind of really bad. So they wanted like an entire cultural shift. And that was kind of their main focus point this offseason. Wasn't necessarily like building a good team for the future, or rebuilding, or trying to trade Watson or anything like that. They didn't talk about anything like that at all whatsoever. They just talked about the culture. And like David Culley is just like a really good guy. Like I haven't played football in 12 years, but I would love to play football again because of how much I love David Coley. It seems like the players like him a lot too. He's not really doing anything a lot scheme wise. Did y'all see that decision he made in that Cleveland game by
I wanted to know about this. Like he gave up a down, right?
Yeah, so it was 3rd and 10, and they threw a pass, or it was 3rd and 15, and they threw a pass, and they made it like 4th and 1 to 50, and there was an offsides penalty, and he declined it and punted it on 4th down. Whereas you could have accepted the penalty and had 3rd and 10, or you could decline to have 4th and 1 and win for it. And that was the correct decision to make, is you go for the 1 yard instead of having 3rd and 10 again.
Right.
And he punted, and he amended his mistakes. Like, yeah, I screwed that one up, but it's one of those things that's so like elementary and basic, you know what I mean? And it's been 2 games, and I think a lot of people will start to maybe dislike Coley, maybe in if they're 2-7 or whatever. But for now, everybody really likes him because they started off fairly well. But I think the team's a lot more enjoyable with him here instead of Bill O'Brien, you know?
Matt, pardon me, Matt. I wanted to ask you, and doing some research about this Texans team, I found out that Texans fans are really big on your offensive coordinator, Tim Kelly. And they almost speak of him like he's a breath of fresh air and like he's done really good things on the offensive side. Can you speak specifically to what they're doing that's causing fans to really like what they have and what he's done specifically to gain that trust?
Yeah, with him, it's kind of weird because he came here from Bill O'Brien. Like he was a coaching assistant or a graduate assistant from Penn State. He came over there as like a tight ends coach and worked his way up to being the offensive coordinator. And as offensive coordinator last year, they pulled the plays from him eventually after they start off 0-2. And then whenever O'Brien was fired, he was able to take the plays back. But last season with Watson, the one thing that he did that was something we've been clamoring for years is that they ran a lot of empty sets. And this is off the top of my head, but I think they had DVOA of 45.4% on empty sets, and they averaged 9 yards a play. And they just spread the offense out, allow Watson to pick his matchups, and then you take off and run for a couple of yards, and nothing was there at all whatsoever. Or the pass rush got to him. He's good at breaking tackles, great plays, and that was the bare minimum change he made last year. But even by doing that, was such a far and away dramatic difference than what Bill O'Brien was doing at the offense. And it was kind of weird why they kept him here with the new regime change. You really don't see an offensive coordinator stay from a 4-1 team whenever you have a new coaching staff. But it was a half-hearted attempt to appease Watson. And, he's been really good the first 2 weeks, and he's run a lot of RPOs. He's run a lot of play action passes. He's run a lot of bootlegs. I think he's done a good job, not necessarily scheming the run game, but when to call runs, because of the way this offense is set up. They're not a great run team, but they have to run to be able to make sure their RPOs and this sort of plays work. He did a good job attacking the quarters defense that Cleveland runs with some early breaking, inside breaking passes to attack those. He did a good job attacking the Jacksonville Jaguars, single high deep safety sets to be able to create some big plays off of it too. And so he's done a great job for 2 weeks. He's done a better job than he did last year after doing the bare minimum. So the growth from Kelly has been one of the plus sides that we've seen so far this year.
Cool. I'll step up. Sorry. Hey, Matt, got a question, man. Listening to everything you guys are saying, you talk about the veteran talent on the Texans, and just looking at everything they've been going through for the last year. I mean, or 2 years, I guess, losing Watt and losing Watson now and losing Hopkins. It seems like this team is in a mode where they're just, going completely in the trash or in the dumpster, but somehow they seem to be being competitive with Tyrod Taylor. Is this team still a quarterback away from being a competitive team?
No, they're far away from that. And
they're far. Okay.
Yeah. And the problem with it was that, with the Bill O'Brien era, they were a really talented football team, but they were held back by their coach, by his game plans, his decision-making. And then he just only got more and more power in the organization, where he ends up becoming the general manager and everything else. And they just didn't add enough good players, and they lost too many good players, and they kind of are like a husk of a roster from a talent standpoint than they were, even 2 or 3 years ago, losing Watt, losing Reeder, losing Hopkins, and everybody else. And now, with this season, I mean, it's a team of a lot of veteran guys that are kind of I guess, fun to root for as they try to find a new home. And they're running the scheme competently enough that they're able to take advantage of Trevor Lawrence's mistakes in week 1. And Justin Reed's been incredible the first 2 weeks of the season. He's forced 3 of the 5 turnovers and forced the 2 turnovers against Cleveland on his own last week too. And that's really kind of what carried that defense also. But yeah, they're not quarterback away. They're probably like the way it's going to work with them. If they nail the Watson trade, nail the draft picks that come along with it, they can maybe be good in 2 years from now,
Okay.
But if they don't nail the Watson trade, they don't nail the draft picks along with it, they're not going to be good maybe for 4 or 5 years from now, unless somehow they get like a really great, young quarterback and able to kind of build a team again that way. But there really isn't a whole lot of talent here at all right now.
While we're talking about the future of the Texans, one of the things is the Panthers acquired our GM this past year. It's been an odd, I guess, way of getting to that GM where you hire the coach first, you keep the old GM, and then you bring in a new GM and pair him with a coach. He's got to deal with it. But one of the guys in that search for 2 years for us as we were flirting with the idea of getting a new general manager was Nick Caserio, and from the vaunted New England. Yeah, everybody thinks this is everybody from New England is going to be great, is what I'm trying to say. And then nobody is good except for Brian Flores, maybe. Nick Caserio lands the GM job in Houston, and I don't know what's really going on there, to be honest, and where the direction is going. What is your evaluation of Nick Caserio? Because from afar, I'm like, man, this might not be bad that we didn't get him.
Yeah, it's that whole thing was really bizarre. Because they tried to hire Nick Caserio 2 years ago. They fired Brian Gaine. Bill O'Brien and Jack Eastbury, I guess, worked together to do that. Try to hire Caserio. Then they're hit with tampering charges. And this all kind of happened after Eastbury went to New England for I guess a reunion or something like that. And they kind of like snuck away and were drinking together or whatever. And then all of a sudden the Brian Gaine's fired. They try to hire Caserio. And the Patriots filed tampering charges against him if they try to hire him. And then they end up pulling away, and then they make Bill O'Brien the general manager, and he was kind of stuck in that role from that point on. And so they had their eyes on him in a way, but all offseason long last year, they had their own hiring firm, and he was never listed in any sort of interviews at all. Nobody talked to him at all whatsoever. And they were supposed to hire Colin from Pittsburgh was the story. And at the last second, they pulled their offer there. They hopped on plane to New England. They hired Nick Caserio, and they gave him like a record contract for a general manager as well too. And so he's been the GM since then. And in a weird way, like it seems like optics wise, it would allow Eastbury kind of entrench himself even further into his role at the Houston, because there's no way he's to be fired if he hires his best friend to do so. And knowing that gives his best friend, $7 million a year for the job that he has. But with Caserio this year, I think like from an offseason standpoint, football wise, aside from all the optics, he just didn't have like a cohesive plan at all. Like there's a schism in
it's a non-plan plan right now.
Yeah.
It feels like a non-plan.
Yeah, he just did weird things. Like he restructured a bunch of contracts. He restructured Zach Cunningham. He restructured Shaq Lawson. He restructured Larry Tunsil. He restructured Marcus Cannon. That's going to limit cap space for 2022 to create cap space for this season, so you can sign Camu Greiger-Hill and Christian Kirksey and Joe Thomas and Malik Collins and all these veteran players. And so it made zero sense to want to create cap space for this year. Whereas this year should have been eat our lumps, pay off these bad contracts so that we have space next year, draft a quarterback early on, whatever. The draft was weird too, because they trade up, like you guys know, for Carolina, draft Nico Collins also. Taking a quarterback in Davis Mills in the third round was pretty bizarre also. And then even just like some of the decisions they made did not give young guys, snaps to see what they have in them, like moving Tyus Howard to guard, not playing Lyon Johnson Jr. at safety, even though I don't think he's all that great to begin with at all. Keeping Vern Hargraves here for another year at cornerback position, and just also not like signing any like young talent at all in free agency. There's always guys who are 24, 25 or so. You may need another shot. Like Cam Sims, for example, like in Washington, would have been like a good sort of player for Houston sign. And they didn't go after this sort of guys. They went after veterans, non-playable characters instead. And now they have this like weird roster that's old, hasn't a lot of draft capital in it, and we still don't know who these young players are at the same time too.
Matt, I wanted to listen. We obviously couldn't get you out here without mentioning Deshaun Watson and talking about him in some way, shape, or fashion. I wanted to pose to you a question that you hopefully haven't gotten a million times. I'll just put it to you simply. Did you ever think that you would see a day when all of the Texans fan base would go from just loving this guy as like the next savior of Houston football to being just considered like this pariah. Like nobody wants anything to do with them. They don't want to hear about the situation. They're embarrassed about this whole trade. Like
it's almost like he's a ghost. Like it's just like don't look at him.
Yeah,
Like, just turn your back. Just turn your back. Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Help document for us how this has been for Texans fans. Because one, I'm a diehard Clemson fan, so me and Deshaun go way back. I'm a super fan of him from when he was playing with Clemson. But also as Carolina Panthers, like we've had a very strong, powerful, dynamic quarterback in Cam Newton, and that it didn't end as bad as the Deshaun thing did. But
we've lost our greatest love. Don't worry, we have lost our greatest love as well in a different way.
Right.
We felt something at least similar. So, how would you say this past year has been for Texans fans and their overall view of Deshaun?
Yeah, like whenever they started 0-4 last year and O'Brien was fired, at least we knew that there was possibility for like a really beautiful future just by getting a good general manager, getting a good head coach that actually builds around Watson, and that was the idea, and that didn't happen whatsoever. Like as I mentioned, like the general manager hiring process that led to Watson asking for a trade because he didn't like the direction the organization was going in, and then they hired David Cole. He still didn't like the direction the organization was going in, and the sexual assault allegations came out, and then that kind of like put everything in a standstill from that point on. But yeah, I think describing him as a ghost is kind of the best way to do it, and I really don't know, what's going on. 22 accusations is a whole lot. And I don't really feel like anything one way or the other, regarding Watson right now. It's just kind of purgatory, and like, he's going to be traded, he's going to be gone. And I just don't think like the Texans would still be, they would be, probably like a 9-10 win team with them right now, but it's something that happened before and it's not going to happen anymore,
Follow-up question to that is that from the outside, from a team that was struggling and looking for a quarterback ourselves before these allegations came out, people are all over here saying like we could trade 3 picks, 3 first rounds, 5 first, like all this crazy stuff people are talking about. Deshaun Watson, his persona was so beautiful, like pristine at that moment. Is it not anymore? Like, is it? I mean, and obviously it's not. Like, I mean, obviously it's not pristine, but is it ruined completely? Like, how does he? In my eyes, we had a player. We had Greg Hardy, who got him and his girlfriend got coked up and got in a fight over a Nelly song that because she used to sleep with Nelly, and they got in a fight and it landed into this whatever. But he never, basically his career was ultimately at the pinnacle at that moment and forever ended, even though he went to Dallas. Is Watson's career, how does he salvage it? And I guess, did you go from looking at him as a good guy? Do people think he's a bad guy now?
It's weird because I mean I live in San Antonio, so like, I don't live in Houston, and so I don't meet very many Texans people here at all. But like it's mainly through communicating on the internet, and like, there's like a weird dynamic where there's like there's people who still say like, oh, I have faith in him, and whatever else, or I can't wait to see him out there again, that sort of thing. And there's a lot of people who just like he's a serial rapist and nobody should have anything to do with him at all anymore. As far as his career goes, though, he's 25. The way the NFL legal process works, or their investigation process, is that they take the evidence that they have, and then from the defendants, and they give it to the player. So they would take the people that accused him of sexual assault, take the evidence that they have against them, and then give it to him before his court case even happens. And so a suspension probably won't happen for Watson until probably 2023. And so it's not anything that's like imminent, I don't think. It's just this weird purgatory of him not playing in Houston. But as far as like his career being salvageable, I think it is, because if a guy goes to a different team and he plays really well and is incredible, they're going to like him. We saw it happen with Michael Vick. He got a second contract in Philadelphia for $100 million. And so this is kind of like the way things typically works. Like if you're playing really great and you're like out there in the field, people will tend to, gravitate back towards you and go through the whole rehabilitation process and everything else. And who knows what's going to happen through the legal process also.
Is he still collecting the game checks right now, though?
That's what I
Because
wanna
he's
know.
just listed as inactive, but he's not suspended. If this was 2016, they would put him on the commissioner's non-exempt list right away. Right away. Because of remember Ray Rice punched that girl in the face. We saw it on video. Boom. On this list. 22 charges in this May. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he doesn't want to play for the Texans. The Texans don't want him to play for them at this point. And now he's just getting paid what is he getting paid for? And is he getting paid?
Yeah, I think he is, because he showed up to training camp, didn't practice at all, just so he wasn't fined. $50,000.
He just stood over there eating popcorn. Look at that.
Yeah, he was just on his phone the whole time, browsing his favorite subreddits, And so I believe he's collecting game checks, and it's kind of weird, like the NFL, where they were so quick to suspend people before, that now they're kind of more lenient now, that we're not going to rush judgment immediately. We're going to let the legal process play out first and then kind of go from there. And so, yeah, like if this was 2014 or whatever, he'd probably be suspended for a year already, or indefinitely, kind of like what you're seeing with baseball with Bauer out there. And so, like, I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I just don't see him being suspended until 2023. If he is, I have no idea what's going to happen in the legal process. He may settle out of court ahead of time too. It's very murky, but the only thing I really kind of believe is that he won't be suspended until 23. And then if he does, I think another team's going to take him. He's going to play there. He's probably really good. And it may take like a year or whatever for
that's so messed up. It's going to take this long.
Isn't the difference though? Isn't the difference here between like the categories that we've seen? Like he hasn't had criminal charges brought against him. He's got an investigation, right? But Greg Hardy had criminal charges brought against him. Ray Rice,
though.
They were charged, and that's when he was put on the commissioner's exempt list, right? Like that's when that happened. Okay. Same thing with Ray Rice. I mean, and number one, also you got to keep in mind these guys had there was no doubt that they did the things that they did. Right now, we're dealing with civil lawsuits that happen to pretty much businesses day in and day out. I don't think that putting him on a commissioner's exempt list makes sense for the NFL at this point in time.
That's a fair argument, though, CK. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
It sounds very lawyerish. You should go be a lawyer.
Yeah, and in my knowledge, like they did some investigating in the city of Houston, but they haven't gone through any sort of criminal investigate, or they may be going through it right now, but there hasn't been official criminal charges come against them at all yet, So it's they're going through the civil process, and who knows what's going to happen, before or after that, or what's going to occur with it. But I think, I think in the NFL, it's going to be a long time before we see any action all there.
Matt, my final question for you tonight, I just want to know where your head's at going into this game, how you see it playing out. Where you see the Texans faltering, where you potentially see them even having some success against the Panthers. And do you have a prediction that you would like to make for this game?
It's really just pray for Davis Mills. I finished watching all the video on Carolina's defense today. I try to watch
we're relentless, bro. This pass rush is harassment.
Who's your favorite
File
player
the harassment charges. They're going to put us on the commissioner's non-exempt list after this game.
Who's your favorite player in this pass rush?
Brian Burns.
Yeah.
I mean, Brian Burns right now is the guy that we all think.
Did you see the necklace he wore, homie?
Yeah.
Cody, did you see the necklace?
Superstar.
No, did you see the necklace he wore in the post game? The diamond Spider-Man joint.
Bro, he's a real one. Man. He's so
fire.
Right now, I would say that Brian Burns is the one that we think is really on track to have a superstar year. But we also
Derek
think
Brown, baby. Derek Brown is gonna this poor guy. Man, the grandma is gonna be crying for what's his name again? Davis Mills.
Yeah,
I don't even know it. Davis Mills' poor grandma. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna change the segment from poor David Culley to poor Davis Mills' grandma who cried because Derek Brown is mean in between the lines, man. Yeah. He's a mean fucking man in between the lines.
Yeah, he's my favorite player in this front seven. Like he's gonna be like Fletcher Cox, but he's just 9 years younger than he is or so. And you even watching Wilson, like Jameis has been better at climbing the pocket than he has in years before so far until he had nobody open because they have no wide receivers there. And he was trying to create something out of nothing while being behind and looked like he was being bitten by bees the whole time in the second half of that game. And Wilson's very mobile. He took a couple of bad shots also there. I just don't see like a way to be able to move the ball. And their run blocking their offensive line, they just don't get to the second level very well. They try to run mid zone and outside zone. It doesn't work well. And like you were talking about Brown's great against stopping those runs too. They're so fast. They'll make tackles from the backside of it. And they've been better at creating like individual movement on the first level, but it's a lot different blocking Daquan Jones and Brown and those guys than it is Davon Hamilton, Jacksonville too. And then defensively, like the only thing I think that's going to give them, there's any like light there at all for them, is they defend the screen games really well, both against Cleveland and Jacksonville until Felton broke all those tackles and scored. And Carolina loves to run a ton of screen passes, but they were able to tackle Christian McCaffrey, 3 years ago. Now the defense is even worse than it was then too.
Oof, that's rough.
The road's getting tough for the Houston Texans, right?
Yeah, and then they play Buffalo, New England, and Indy, and then Arizona after Carolina. But I'm expecting Carolina to win 31-9, if that. 27-6. Like I don't think they're going to score more than 10 points.
It's a 7.5 point spread, I believe, right now.
Yeah, I pick Carolina with Davis Mills. If Tyrod was playing, I think you just like
right. The 7.5 is a lot in the NFL with the real starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. I guess are there any last questions you have? It's like an interview. Right? And I tell all my students, I'm a teacher in life, and I am a teacher of fans when it comes to Carolina Panthers. And that at the end of every interview, when you go into a professional interview, folks, the last question is, do you have any questions for us?
Any questions for y'all? Are you more happy? Or that's not the way you say that. I'm a Texas public school educator.
You're hired. You're hired.
It's that damn Texas public school education. Are you happier with Sam Darnold than with Teddy Bridgewater?
Yes.
Fuck yes.
So much happier.
Yes.
And if you look at what Teddy Bridgewater is doing right now, and this has basically been true for Teddy always, he's as good as his roster will let him be. And the fact of the matter is that the Panthers were never going to be a contending offense with Teddy Bridgewater under center. We didn't have the offensive line, and frankly, he was too averse to taking shots downfield. Sam, he's been great. I mean, he's made all the throws. He's had some weird misses here and there, but overall, if we're able to pass protect for him, we have no doubt, that Sam is good and is continuing to get better with these new head coaches that we think have really done dividends for him and his development. So, yeah, without question, bigger fans of Sam than Teddy.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater was I would say I would put Teddy Bridgewater in the category of Alex Smith, but maybe not as consistent. Teddy Bridgewater, unfortunately, when facing tough defenses, has not been able to actually do much. And that's, something he hasn't had the luxury of facing this year yet. And so when that actually happens, I think you're going to see what Teddy Bridgewater really is capable of doing. And I think it's going to be a big drop off. People are really expecting him to do great things, but it's not going to happen. I can tell you that. We watched too much film last year of him just being the reason we didn't win.
Yeah.
My computer isn't working well, so if you can hear me, I can't see y'all. The only thing I say about Teddy Bridgewater is don't be fooled just because of 2 good weeks right now. I'm happy for my man. And it is crazy that he's thrown more passes over 20 yards in 2 games than he did in an entire season for us. That is insane too. But watch the speed of the ball. Don't worry. Is that this ain't gonna last that long. And I'm not saying he's bad. He just ain't got enough.
Yeah.
When he has pressure, he checks it down. That's what's going to happen as they continue to really kind of get a feel for what that Broncos offense really is. He's going to face much better defensive coordinators, much better defenses. and it's gonna, you're gonna see Teddy revert to exactly what Teddy is, and that is simply just taking the easy throws.
Mhm.
And that 20 plus yards completion percentage, like, is that 20 plus air yards, or is that 20 yards completions, like 20-yard like passes that happen to be run after the catch?
I don't know. I've seen him throw a lot of downfield passes in the highlights already that he did not do with us.
Well,
But you know what? They look like they're in slow motion too. So I don't even care.
And that's the biggest thing with Teddy Bridgewater was, I feel like when he was with us, he played on 1.5 levels of the field, whereas Sam Darnold could play on 3. It's just I have no problem with playing, dink and dunk and short passes until it doesn't work. And when you don't have the ability to play a different game when that doesn't work, then it doesn't work for me. And Sam Darnold's getting that done so far, which Teddy Bridgewater couldn't. So as far as that question goes,
dude.
yeah, he
can't push the ball. Like
he
can throw a wide open pass, but watch him when he throws these deep passes. It looks like he's putting. You guys want to talk about Cam Newton not having any arm strength? Cam Newton could outthrow Teddy Bridgewater in a throwing contest right now in distance.
Here's the other difference too: is through just 2 games with Sam Darnold,
I hate Teddy.
I'm more confident that if it comes down to a as fast as you can, quarterback's got to make the decision to win the game type deal, to call a play, to in the huddle or whatever. I'm more confident with Sam Darnold than I was with Teddy Bridgewater after all season last year.
Yeah, I know. I think he was 3-8 1-score games last year, whatever. I love Teddy, but that's mainly because I wanted Houston to draft him in 2014, and instead they drafted Xavier Suafia, who is playing guard for Cincinnati right now. And so
I liked him better when he wasn't a Panther, and before the knee injury, man, he just. I don't know.
Hey, he has some swagger now too with his gold chain. He's a little bit different. He found his groove back,
You're right. He's I think Panther fans made him like this because we were some haters on some.
Oh, he found his dark side. Then he discovered his shadow.
Yeah. All right. Matt Weston from Battle Red Blog, also Battle Red Radio. Where you guys put out a ton of audio, ranging from just not only the Houston Texans, but all of the NFL as well. Tell our listeners how they can find your work.
Yeah, if you want to listen to a weekly NFL preview, we usually do it for Friday morning. And if you just search for Battle Red Blog into podcast, you can kind of see it there. Or Houston Texans podcast, you can find it too. But that's there every Friday, and it says week 1 or whatever, NFL preview. And then I'll be writing a Texans Panthers preview for Thursday morning. I have to finish watching one more game of Carolina offensive video, and I'll have that ready for Thursday morning around 8 o'clock or so. So if you need something to read on the toilet Thursday morning, I have that for you.
Don't sleep on DJ Moore, homie. Mug is just the next Steve Smith in the making. Thank you for your time tonight. How can they follow you on Twitter?
Yeah, it's at Matt _, not 1_, but there's 2 of them.
Dose.
Weston. So Matt _ Weston. And I posted all 10 Carolina Panther sacks so far this year. If you have a minute and a half, you want to see something cool.
Hell yeah, we do. That, folks, you better go retweet that because I will go watch that right now. Thanks, Matt, for your time, man, and your insight. And best of luck to you, but not this weekend.
Of course.
Thursday. This Thursday.
Just pray for Davis Mills. I know y'all want Carolina to win, but pray for his health and safety because he'll need
certainly.
That does seem like the right thing to do.
Yes.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. My mother would approve. Mama Dunn would approve.
Who's the backup to Mills?
Jeff
on
Driscoll.
Thursday?
Do you remember Jeff Driscoll? It's Jeff Driscoll.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Is
man.
that a NASCAR driver?
It sounds
Pretty
like it, don't it?
Or a
Hey,
baseball
is
player?
it true?
I don't know.
Before you get out of here, is it true? I heard they asked David Culley what they were going to do if they continued to run low on linebackers, and they said they would put Ingram in the Wildcat.
I didn't hear that.
Quarterback, not linebacker.
I can imagine. I
man.
think I said that if they got enough guys hurt, because Ingram's played the Wildcat before, and that's probably the next best option.
That's
if
what they
something
were talking
happens to
about.
Jeff Driscoll. Really?
We did that shit in 08, bro. We did that. I think it was 08 or 09. We did that with D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, and actually had some success. You saw the Miami Dolphins do it with Ronnie Brown and who was the other guy? I can't remember it. They ran that too. Nobody had nothing. They just it's hard to stop, to be honest.
I think we were a Will Greer away from having Christian McCaffrey do the same thing.
You just gotta have, if you have the dopest ass defense, you could do it. Like I think Alabama or somebody could do. Imagine if a team did that in college and just like tried to make fun of their opponent. They're just like screw it.
Didn't even just had all their quarterbacks inactive, saying we got this.
We can beat your ass anyway. All right, Matt. Well, thanks a lot for your time, man, and we hope to catch up with you in the future.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Enjoy Thursday, and again, pray for Davis Mills. He needs it. He needs everything he can to stay upright.
Amen. Amen.
Prayer hands in the chat, y'all.
Amen. Amen. I say to you, folks, that's you know what is listen to Matt Weston's podcast, Matt_Weston's podcast, Red Blog Radio. It's been very entertaining from what I've listened to. So at least give him the love and them the support in this road to success. Hopefully, that Carolina Panthers are going to be facing. Guys, let's just what did you learn? As I go ahead and cue the cat calls up, what'd you learn from our discussion with Matt Weston about Thursday night's matchup?
Well, that it doesn't like our chances very much. Go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just gonna say I learned that what I heard announcers and sports analysts talking about after week one with the Texans and what the fan base actually feels is totally different, because from what I heard after week one, they were a contender and they're doing well. And then through half of week two, the same way. And everybody's talking about, they're quarterback away. They're a decent team. But from a fan perspective, apparently it's not. So I trust a little more. Too is
what we also learned is that for them, again, like playing with house money type mentality, but we've seen the overreaction week one, week two overreaction takes
right
throughout the NFL, and we're trying to be super excited about this team, and also hopefully we're not in the overreaction take category. I truly don't think we are right now. I think like this is a young, exciting team. I don't know if we're going to sudden be 16-0 or something like that,
right.
Like we're 15-0. Like I'm not saying that, but the team looks way ahead of schedule in my eyes for what I thought it was going to be. I didn't say I'm not even saying 2-0 is the schedule. I'm just saying like we look more balanced overall than it's a pleasant surprise, right? But when you look at teams like the Saints, you look at the teams like the Packers, there was an overreaction in week one about what these guys truly were. And Cody has a good kind of formula to this, is how long does it take us to figure out what is true? Oh, you're on mute. How's he on mute? He was ready to go too.
I was. I forgot that.
Come on. How long does it take?
Yeah, between 6 and 7 weeks. That's my golden rule. After that 6th week, I'll bump it up to 7 because they added one more game this year. But around that time, that's when you start to get into November football. That's when the weather really starts to change. That's when you've already played a good bit of your schedule, so you can tell. If injuries are starting to plague you or not. I mean, you really start to know what kind of team you have after that point in time. And if you go back every year, there's a team that right around that point, it's either somewhere a little bit before or a little bit after, a team that starts out really good. After that point, they just fall off a cliff. Yep. I remember the 2015 Falcons, the 2016 Vikings. There's been a number of different instances in this. So It's important right now while the Panthers are on this stretch where we have a bunch of good, favorable matchups. We need to do what we're supposed to and close them out. And we have the defense to be able to do that. I wanted to ask a question, Tony, to you and everyone else real quick. Is there any part that makes you a little bit nervous that the Panthers, because let's be real, we're going to be favored. we're favored to win this. I think we're what, at -8 now, -8 points, something like that. Is there any part of you all that's afraid that the normal primetime Panthers are going to show up? The Panthers that normally disappoint whenever we're on the right stage. All right, why's that?
I'd be more concerned if it was another one of those games like a 49ers game or a Steelers game or something like that. But I feel like, number one, we have the majority of the big time players that we have on this team have been in this system for a good amount of time. I think that again, and this, you could look at this as a positive or a negative, but I think that Joe Brady is going to call a game plan that takes the game out of Sam Darnold's hands and keeps it on, in a predictable way, in a consistent way.
I think we're blowing them out, man. We're blowing these mugs out. We're gonna be throwing bombs.
But I think we're gonna blow them out because I think our defense is gonna give us very short field position on a very, I guess, on a pretty regular basis, and so that's going to offer easy scores, easy opportunity. Basically, I could see this turning into what Green Bay Saints game was, where the Saints just were able to get the ball back with only 30 yards to go on every single drive they had, giving Jameis Winston the ability to throw 5 touchdowns with less than 150 yards, unheard of. But I think it's possible with this defense.
I think the Carolina Panthers are trending up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're trending up in all sides of the ball, and I think this is that the defense obviously is a higher part of the mountain, but I don't think they're at the top of their mountain. I think they still have improvement that is going to happen, and I think this offense is going to take steps forward, significant steps forward, and so I don't expect this to be the week. I don't care if it's prime time, low time, high tide, low tide, whatever. I don't care. Panthers this week are going to be better than they were last week because I don't think we've suffered a lot of injuries. And if, according to Cody Lashney, the injuries we have suffered may be addition by subtraction.
Right. Hey, Tony, you asked me in the private chat, who did we play?
No, Greg looked it up. Greg, don't take Greg's thunder.
Oh, go ahead, Greg.
Well, I was going to say that we played Seattle week 6. That was the 27-23
Listen
win.
to that. Think about that. We beat Seattle in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was the Greg Olsen. That
was
the Greg Olsen big touchdown game, a big catch touchdown game.
Yeah,
Giant that game.
I'm telling you, man,
that was the game for me right there. That was said, we are here. Like, this is the team to beat.
You have the schedule up still?
No? Yeah, I do. I'm looking at it right now.
Right after that, we played,
who was after that?
Philly.
Colts.
We played Philly right after that.
Then Colts before it? Was it Colts? Seattle?
Right after it was Seahawks, Eagles, then Colts.
Yeah.
And then Dallas on Thanksgiving or something like that.
No, then Green Bay.
Green Bay, yeah. We didn't play on Thanksgiving. Well, I don't know, unless we played Washington on Thanksgiving.
We played Thanksgiving that year.
Then it must have been Washington.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been Washington or Dallas, actually, now look at it. Yeah.
Primetime game.
Oh, Thursday it was Dallas, yeah.
I remember that shit like yesterday, dude. Like that was the best joint. Thanksgiving Day, the Panthers.
That was one of the best Thanksgivings ever, man. But hey, I got a point about that week 6 thing, huh? I'm telling you.
Look at that.
Yeah. Week 6.
And week 6 was the year that after Cam Newton got hurt, that we started out after where he got his shoulder hurt against Pittsburgh. That was that week 2. That was week 6 too, wasn't it?
I say you
6 or
don't
7,
move it to 7, Coney.
No.
Don't move it to week 7.
Y'all want to hear a really cool stat?
Week
Check
6.
this out. In 2015, through 2 games, the Panthers have scored 44 points, and now through 2 games, we scored 45. So, like, we're right in line with where we were.
Better than we were then.
Let's go. I'm
Just
fucking
saying.
pumped, dude.
Just and we've actually allowed less points this year. We've allowed 21 points this year, and in 2015 we allowed 19 and 7, 25 points.
Doesn't it feel better when we're excited about the Carolina Panthers rather than looking forward to what our
get
draft pick
scared.
is going to be?
I get
Dude.
nervous though. I get nervous about being excited.
That's the best part of being
I'm
a
so
fan,
excited
man.
about being excited. Gosh, it's wonderful, bro.
Shout out to Ross
Basking
Gould
it, man.
for the $2. He said, prayers for Wilmington, bad flooding. Prayers up to Wilmington.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, I'm just pumped about this football team. I think that we have a good schedule ahead of us. I think we've got the defense to go even further. Tony, let's see what these cat calls got to say, brother. What are these Panther fans thinking?
Let's do it.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very
Always forget to
uncomfortable.
turn that
So
up
how do
too
you think
much.
catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
All right, this is going to sound outlandish at first, all right, but give it a chance, okay? First of all, I'm going to tell you why the Buffalo Bills is our single most important game the entire year. I'm going to tell you why the Panthers and the Buccaneers meeting in Charlotte after Christmas could be for the division, essentially, at that point. And it sounds a little crazy at first. But here's the thing. If you look at Tampa's schedule, what are they? They're 2-0 right now. They got the Rams, that's a loss, that's 2-1. The Patriots, that's 3-1. Dolphins, that's Dolphins, I think that's 4-2, and then 5-2 against the Eagles, 6-2 against the Bears, 7-2 against the Saints. And then I think the Giants, Eagles, Colts, they lose one of those, that's 8-3. They beat the Falcons. I think they lose to the Bills. That's 8-4. Then they play the Saints, and that would be 9-4. I think they're supposed to be 10-4. I might have missed the game. I think they're going to be 10. You know, I'm not going to go to the games. It doesn't matter. That one's just the boring one. But for us, this is where it gets good. Okay, so the Buccaneers I think they're going to be 10-4 when they come to play us. The Panthers, I think we're 3-0 after the Texans. I think the Cowboys, Eagles, we lose one of those. That's 4-1. Then that's 5-1 the Vikings, 6-1 against the Giants, 7-1 against the Falcons. And then you hit the Patriots, the Cardinals, the football team, and the Dolphins. All you got to do is go 500. The football team and the Patriots both very beatable, and even the Dolphins are beatable, especially if they don't have a quarterback. So I think 500 there is really realistic. And then they come into the Falcons, and that would make them 10-3 going in to play the Bills. And here's why the Bills game is more important than the Bank of America Stadium game. If the Panthers win that Bills game, then they could be in a position where they could beat Tampa in Carolina and have a chance to solidify the division in New Orleans. If they go into that game tied with Tampa, then they would have to beat Tampa again probably in Tampa Bay, which is not going to happen. We don't beat them twice. We're not going to beat them in Tampa. But I think we got a real shot at beating them in Carolina this year. I know it's kind of crazy to think, but I have no reason to think this defense is going to get any worse. Phil Snow only improved the defense last year. Joe Brady, I feel like, has gotten better since the last year, and I thought he looked a lot better today. And it stalled a little bit, but I feel like there were a few factors to that. And I've always believed in Matt Rule since day one. And I mean, I'm not saying it'll happen, but I think if this.
Oh, got cut off right at the very end.
Yeah, he's got 15
But
seconds.
it's very realistic to think that we could go into that game. God damn it. You know what? I discard this call. I fucking totally forgot what I was going to say.
Hey, no,
awesome.
I like what he was going with, man.
Mhm.
And
No.
listen, it's so far. Here, go ahead, Greg. You had something you wanted to say. Go for it.
Oh,
Go ahead.
the only thing I was going to say is I was going to agree with you. I like where he's going with it. The only thing I would disagree with is the Dallas Philly game about losing one there. I think you need to look out for Minnesota. I think they're the best 0-2 team in the NFL.
They are, and they're
They're a
putting
really
up
good
ton
team.
of points.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, they're playing really well on offense.
They've been down to the wire with the Bengals and with the Cardinals.
Mhm.
And again, there's that Week 6 matchup for us. That's our Week 6 opponent that we played Minnesota. So
I'm all in on this Week 6 thing. You've been saying that this is not the first.
It's
Look,
the
you've been
truth.
No,
saying
I've
this
said
for
this for
years,
It's the truth.
years.
Cody.
I've
Yeah.
said this
Years.
for
I mean, I think
Years,
almost
dude.
everybody looks at that. You got to take a few weeks for the offense to gel. The defense can get it
I
almost
think it's
you know,
brilliant. I
faster
think
than the
you
offense
found the
can.
formula, dude.
Thank you, bro. And so, but to that caller's point, listen, man, if the Panthers are a good team, like we're all thinking they're going to be at the end of the year, let me tell you, the last 4 weeks of this Carolina Panthers season is going to be fucking
Brutal.
insane.
Brutal.
You have to go on the road in Buffalo in the month of December, and you know it's going to be snowing sideways. Then we're going to close the schedule with 3 division games. The
Almost 2 back-to-back against Tampa. It feels
Tampa
like.
Bay
Good
Buccaneers. Then we are on the road against New Orleans, and then we stay on the road and finish out the season in Tampa Bay, man. That could
After
be for
week
the
10,
division.
look, read the last 8 games. Though it's murderer's row at the end. But I have a theory, guys. As he lists this schedule to us, as Cody lists it to us, is I feel like we're gonna gain momentum in this first half of the schedule where we need to, and we're gonna get chiseled into a hard team through adversity. Like we're gonna be prepared. Tell us about the adversity we face in the back half.
So
It's murderer's row after the Patriots.
The last 8 games is we are on the road to the Arizona Cardinals, which, by the way, I put this out on Twitter. The Cardinals and the Broncos are always a good team when the Panthers are good. And I don't understand that for the life of me, dude.
Right. That's a good point.
Dude.
It's an excellent point.
NFC Championship game was the Cardinals. And then
Super Bowl against the Patriots. We've
Broncos,
seen these teams a lot.
And then 2013 or 14, we played the Cardinals in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But all right, so here's the final 8. Cardinals, Washington football team, Miami Dolphins, Atlanta Falcons, Buffalo Bills, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's our final 8.
It sounded a lot worse like 6 months ago when we didn't think the Falcons were stinky.
Well, but dude, even when they suck, they're
is
always
it in Atlanta or is it here?
No, it's here.
Okay, that helps. You get kind of a lull after Washington. That might help us. All of a sudden, now I'm feeling more prospects feeling good. Those last 3 games kind of tough, or 4.
They're a little tough.
Games are tough, but I mean, look, the Cardinals. That offense, they can do a lot. That's going to be a tough matchup. That's probably one of the best matchups for our defense, even more so than Buffalo, because Buffalo, they're dependent on Josh Allen throwing the football. The Cardinals.
Did Buffalo get old? Did Buffalo pull on defense? Did they get old on defense?
No, they played the Dolphins, and that was exactly what they needed.
I know, man, but the Dolphins lost to do you think they're older? I don't know if the Bills are.
No, I think they're one of. No, I think they're one of those teams that not every team is going to have a hot start. I think
Vernon
Buffalo.
Butler is Vernon Butler saved their team.
Maybe Shaq won. No, that actually Shaq went to the Jets. No, I mean I just think they have a good. By the time we played the Buffalo Bills, that is still going to be one of the best teams in the AFC. I would be shocked if they weren't. But the Cardinals would be probably the best test for our defense, man. They have DeAndre Hopkins. Christian Kirk is making a bunch of freak show catches.
Rondell Moore.
Yeah,
I'm starting him this week in fantasy on the worst fantasy team in the history of the world in a different fantasy league I'm in. I won the title last year. I've got the Super Bowl hangover right away. CK, right before we go to the next call, that list doesn't sound as bad as it did before because
doesn't.
Tua got hurt this week.
Well, I mean,
and then
honestly,
if the Dolphins were a good team, that list sounds a little bit tougher.
You want to know my overreaction to what we see through week 2? This defense can beat any one of those fucking quarterbacks to a pulp.
Hell yeah.
I'm telling you, Brady hasn't faced a good defense yet. Like, you want to talk about, like, let's look at this. I mean, again, people are crowning.
This is an injured career defense.
Right.
That's what this is like career over defense.
This is a fuck around and find out defense.
Right. And so, like, I don't look at this, the matchups we have coming up and say, man, I'm really afraid. Right. Kyler Murray was playing lights out in a lot of the games that we were like, he was supposed to be playing lights out, and we still beat them.
We're getting caught. Social services is getting caught on us for killing that child.
Right. So, I mean, I don't think at this point in time, I think it makes, again, overreaction at this point. But I think this defense is more than capable of destroying any offensive line and these I mean, they were missing their center, but the Saints have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and we still fucked them over. And it wasn't even Jameis's fault. Like, it wasn't that Jameis was holding onto the ball entirely too long.
I think in some way the nature of the game, the way it goes both ways helps. Like, the offense can help the defense, So I don't want to just think that we could, like, our offense can go to sleep on a week and we go murder somebody. But it does feel like our defense is teeing up our offense a little bit. Now, look, we came out there and scored right away. That helped tremendously against the Saints.
Right.
And then that defense, it allows your defense to play differently. What are we going to make? What kind of t-shirt should we be making for that Arizona game? Like, murder that child, Kyler Murray, or like, what is it? Is like, good God. Imagine poor little Kyler Murray facing this defense right now.
He better run for his life, man. But that's what I'm telling you. They have the offense to be able to give us.
Sure, they do. I ain't trying to sleep on them, but we could murder that little boy. Not boy. Yeah, I'm not trying to say that little person.
That's the proper. That's the proper term. You say little people now. That's how you refer to them. Hey, did you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right, yeah. I agree with that one number. I agree. All right, next call.
Yo, guys, it's Nick from up here in Ness.
What's up?
Hey,
what's up, Nick?
What up, Nick?
Dude, it's pretty good whenever when all the Panthers commentators and all the hosts from all the different Panthers podcasts, when we even sleep on our own defense. Let's face it. None of us thought that we were gonna hold them to 7 points this Sunday.
You're right.
We all kind of figured it was going to be a really close game, a really good game to watch, and trust me, it was a great game to watch. I was not expecting a shutout like that. So I'm happy with what I saw, especially on defense. Our defense is top notch. It is the thing of nightmares. Quarterbacks are going to regret playing us this year, and it's going to be like that all year long. When you start talking about Derek Brown coming up the middle, and then our edge rushers that we have coming in from the sides, holy shit. Okay? This defense had me excited before the season, but I was trying to temper my expectations just because of how high we thought everything was the last couple of years.
Right.
And what the reality of the situation was. But damn, our defense is lights out. They keep playing like this. Sam isn't going to have a single problem throughout the season. And speaking of Sam, Sam has actually impressed me. I went into the season once again, reserving my expectations just because of what he did in New York. And I didn't want to just sit here and think that he was going to all of a sudden change his tune just by coming to Carolina. But man, he's really stepped up. That play with that shuffle pass, it's going to happen. There's going to be some flashes of Sam of old. I can live with that as long as if they don't get crazy. But one thing I want to mention, okay, is we got to realize we played the New York Jets, which was one of the worst teams in the NFL last season, and they aren't necessarily much better this season. Then we played, a piece together Saints team, who was missing a whole bunch of guys. We're getting ready to play the Texans, which we should blow them out. So we haven't had a real test yet. And this is ideally the best situation for Donald. I mean, let's face it, first 3-4 games going into it, having a solid lead, never being behind, it's great. It's awesome. And I'm happy for him. But
we are gaining confidence.
I want to see what he's going to do under some real pressure. Love the show, guys. I'm going to call back.
We are gaining confidence in these games. And I'm not gonna, and thank you, Nick, for being the anchor, the co-anchor of the Friday Free for All and a long time listener of the podcast. But I'm just to tell you this is that, I don't want to apologize for having to play the Jets. I don't want to have to apologize for playing hobbled Saints. I don't want to apologize for playing a hobbled Texans. I want to think of it like this: is that we're getting some easy fights early in our career. We're getting some easier fights, but we're gaining some confidence as a fighter.
Yeah.
And we're gonna come in here and then we beat the Dallas Cowboys next or something. Like, we got to get some confidence here.
Yeah. And listen,
that's what I think we can do.
Let them sleep on us. Let them. The most dangerous Panthers are the slept-on Panthers. Let everybody think we ain't shit. Let everybody think that we're just playing around on some broken, beaten-up football teams. I'm telling you, we got that fuck around and find out defense. These teams about to fuck around and find out that we mean business. We're trying to take the head off your shoulders and bury you in the dirt. And that's what the Panthers are going to have to do, man. Respect is not given. It's earned. And quite frankly, we're going to take it.
Yeah, I mean, every year there's teams. Every team plays a number of teams that they definitely should win that game. They play a number of sorry teams. It's just the way it works out, right? But the fact is, you're winning those games. Winning the games you should win is the difference between a championship team a playoff team at least, or a competitive team, and somebody who's got a lot of work to do.
Right.
When you lose games you should win, that's when you have a problem.
I liked his point about wanting to reserve judgment on Darnold till he saw something. Right? Is that you can put the rose-colored glasses on and hope and wish right for things to be great. You can put on the pessimistic glasses like so many people do. And they'll be like, everything sucks. Everything sucks. Or you can wait and find out like Nick did. And what I'm thinking this is that just from what we've seen from Sam Darnold in Carolina, to me, it's arguably the best thing I could have expected.
Yeah.
Like right now, if you're giving me that the Ryan Tannehill model is the bar, I think he's already exceeded it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
like he just hasn't done. I mean, that one play, yes, that's like kind of the Sam Darnold that people told me was going to happen. But I don't even think that play was like. I think this is that they're going to go back and yell at him. He won't ever do that shit again, I hope.
See, I don't.
But other than that, man, it's like he's done everything I kind of wanted him to do,
See,
and a little more.
You said you think you haven't seen it, or you think you have seen it. I would say I haven't seen it yet, but it's not because of Sam. Like, I feel like his performances in these past two games could have been even way better than it was, but just a few little dumb errors in pass protection by Pat Elflein and Paradis and some of our interior guys. And yeah, even Cam Irving, who did struggle a little against Peyton Turner versus the Saints. Like, Sam could have had a much bigger game. But I'm waiting.
If you told me that he through 3 games we would be 2-0, at 2 games we would be 2-0,
averaging over 300,
500 yards, a pass, 1 interception, a rushing touchdown and 3 passing touchdowns. I'm gonna say this is that that's better than I expected.
Yeah. Here's the thing with Sam is I think I'm gonna go to Cody's formula here, and my deal with him is after week 6, that's when I decided this is a jersey I'm gonna buy or not.
Dude, he's about to, I think
that's
he's
when I
gonna blow
decided
this Texans
because
team up.
I think I'm gonna have it right. Yeah.
I think the offense is gonna come out and put the big face fuck on the Texans.
Could you imagine how fucking awesome that would be?
I think it's gonna be. I think that's what's gonna happen.
If Sam Darnold just came out and flexed on him on prime time, throwing for like 500 yards or some crazy shit. God, I would love that, dude.
It's gonna happen. I won't say 500 yards, but I'm saying this is like we're putting up 35.
I'd love to see it. Yeah, above 30 points. And here's the thing with Sam Darnold.
I don't know. The problem is Christian McCaffrey take all the points away from everybody. You know, so like Sam Darnold.
Well, he only has 1 touchdown this
yards and have 1 touchdown, and Christian McCaffrey just eat everything up.
But Christian McCaffrey only has 1 touchdown so far this year.
Right. But that's the same thing that we were
sensationalism in his backside.
Oh yeah. Well, and then real quick, CK, before we go, let me just finish this one thought. The caller with Sam Darnold, I agree with you. I want to see him do something else, but so far he's done really well, and I can't not like him until he gives me a reason to. You know, so I'm sold on him after week 6. I think that's the time when you decide whether I want to buy a jersey or not. But up until that point, as long as he's playing well, I'm sold on him. You know, he's done way more good than bad. So sorry,
you might need to wait till like week 11.
Well, I already decided. I'm getting a Burns jersey this year. That's the one I'm buying this year. But I may, dude. If Sam Darnold through week 6 is 6-0,
what's your jersey order, CK? Because mine is Derek Brown, number 1.
Really?
Yeah, Derek Brown's number 1. Like he ain't going nowhere. That's the like, and if you wear the Brown jersey to the joint, you know you fly. Like if you wear the you're hardcore. You wear the D tackle joint.
Yeah, got that big number 95. That's a hard one to rock right there.
You gotta buy the XXL though, right? You can't wear a tight jersey.
Robbie Anderson joint, number 11. I'm big on the 11s. Fuck with that. Next would be Chin. I mean, Brian Burns has got to be up there, but like we better pay Brian Burns. Yeah, so I'm gonna put Chin up there because you get 1 more year maybe before. Like if we don't pay Brian Burns, like I want the Brian Burns. I want all of these. I want the Brian Burns joint. Yeah. I want the Chin joint.
JC Moore.
Hassan Reddick. Go ahead and pay these motherfuckers. Like we need to pay Burns and Reddick today.
Listen,
hey, I'm not gonna lie. I want that Dante Jackson too, man.
No, yeah, I do too. Hey,
I don't know yet because whether or not we sign him this year, I don't know if I'd want Dante Jackson yet.
Hey, if we go to a game, I will buy an Arnold jersey. If somebody will buy a Sam Darnold jersey, and we can stand next to each other and take pictures.
Yeah. I was gonna say like the other part that we talk about, like somebody was asking in chat about Terrace Marshall when he's gonna start showing up, bro. The problem right now that you run into. They have so many people that they can feed the ball to.
Feed, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know that Terrace Marshall is going to be like this, just generational talent that we're going to see in his first year. We know he's capable of it, but I don't know if he's going to have the opportunity with the people that we have on this squad right now. And honestly, it depends upon what you're looking for, because if he balls out this year, DJ Moore may not be getting his extension.
But
I just realized something, guys. Is number 1, we didn't ask this dude about Joey Sly.
Oh no!
How did we not ask about that? Oh my gosh! Yeah. No, you were talking about Terrace Marshall. I think this is that while we're riding these high fucking hopes right now, as all springs eternal, all hope springs eternal, and like I'm seeing myself or us in the playoffs and shit. Like Terrace Marshall might be like a dark late horse. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that comes into the offense because of not an injury, but like new wrinkles and this and that. So don't worry. Just because it ain't on day 1, homie. This dude might be catching a touchdown in the NFC wild card game.
Right. He's a McCole Hardman for the Panthers, basically.
Well, Mecole Hardman's more of like a Robbie Anderson type, like a downfield type. I would have
I
said
don't know. I got
like
him on my fantasy team. He's been doing pretty bad this year.
I
but-
mean, I
Like
would
you're
even
a
say
hope,
like
you like
what
the expectations are there.
Yeah.
Man,
I would-
there's
I would say-
Terrace Marshall. You can't be like if you starting him in fantasy at this point, you started him. You way too early on to come up, folks.
and that's another thing. Hugo next up says, don't forget about Shi Smith, who will be set to make his return at some point this season too. And I
Right.
think that's a piece that I would love to get involved more, especially as the season goes on. And also,
This
I
team
want
is
to.
gonna get nasty.
And-
Think
and
about
by the
this.
way,
We could be throwing
Look
these.
at what we're saying right now. Look at what we're saying right now. We're looking at all the different pieces that we have: DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall Jr., Shi Smith. Like that's not even mentioning Christian McCaffrey. Like we have so many weapons on this football team. This offense can be so much better
Right.
than it is. That's why the pass protection thing has been so frustrating, man. If we can actually get some adequate pass protection on this offensive line, like, dude, the offense could match the production of the defense. I mean, we could have an offense that's putting up a ton of points and the defense that's
The offense
smacking
hasn't
teams in the
been
mouth.
bad, man.
It's been good
The
enough.
offense
could be
hasn't
even
been
better.
bad.
It can
could
be better. Yeah,
even
you're right.
better.
It can
You
be
can
better.
see
Yeah.
all the areas in which there's just one player doing the right thing away
Right.
from being
Mhm.
even more dynamic than they already are.
And if we hit that, man, we're gonna be unstoppable, dude. Unstoppable. Hey, I have one quick question for y'all. This kind of y'all talking about Smith coming to the lineup reminded me of it. We do have a lot of players, or a lot of. The future looks really good for people coming in off injuries, suspension,
If we
all that.
pay them.
Now, our defense is gelling right now, man. I mean, we are doing really, really well. What if we bring Bouye in and it messes that up?
I just don't see it. I mean, I just don't see it.
Look,
I don't think they're going to rush him in, but they do
I don't
want
think it
him.
will, but
I tell you this, they kind of do want him to play because they were asked about that. And I feel like Matt Rule's like usually like, oh, we're process oriented people. You got to do the blah,
Right.
blah, blah. He's like, man, you know, we want him to play snaps, but we got to make sure his condition is right. Shit like that. I think that look, is that who is it? The Melvin guy? Rashad. Tell me this.
Rashawn
This
Melvin.
guy came in and we played against the Saints and he played all right. We lost. We need Bouye at this point.
You know why I'm
But
not
what
worried,
if you
Greg?
give him to us and he's pretty good at the nickel? Kind of like, do you remember when we added that something Leonard guy in 2017 or 2018? We were making a play on front. What was it? And it was a vet. And he was exactly what we needed to play. Something Leonard. Chat, help me out on this. And you don't have to be sensationally athletic to play the position. You know, like he came in and his experience and his wisdom helped us. AJ Bouye, be our Bouye. Be the buoy of this defense, please. Man, it would be.
I think our defense is set up right now where everyone can just play fast. I mean, J.C. Horn benefits from having Dante Jackson and Jeremy Chin. They allow each other to play fast. So if Rashawn Melvin can play fast and downhill in this defense, I have no doubt that AJ Bouye can do the same thing. If not even better, man. AJ Bouye has been a crafty veteran that doesn't get the respect that he deserves. I mean, listen, that might be another key to this defense being even better than it already is. So, yeah, I'm pumped about it. I think he's going to be a great addition.
Can I ask though, like just real quick? I'm gonna look up his stats real quick. I only remember Bouye being like a big deal, like 1 year, wasn't he? Wasn't he like a Josh Norman type? Yeah, like 1 year,
So-
like Josh Norman type thing.
I believe he was drafted by the Texans, and then the year the Jaguars went to the playoffs, he was a part of that team, and he was one of their bigger offseason signings. So, yeah, I mean, I don't. Again, his numbers off the top of my head, I mean, he's a good signing in that you don't expect him to do too much other than be a really good complementary piece. And I think it might have even been Phil Snow that I heard say this. nickel is a full-time position in the NFL. You know, the defense is run out of nickel
did you hear
defense.
fans
so
being
much.
upset that we played a bunch of defensive backs in this game? Like, first of all, how could you be upset as a fan and what we did defensively just because you looked at the snap count thing in this past game? We dominated these motherfuckers. So whatever we did, do it again, mug.
Look,
But
well,
yes,
look,
we've been playing, man. Everybody plays 5 defensive backs,
right.
in the NFL.
And he look, I'm looking at it right now. He has 14 interceptions. Let's see, 14 interceptions, 1 sack, 72 passes defended, and 333 tackles in 8 years, which is pretty good numbers.
Sounds pretty damn good.
That's 5 interceptions a year, almost 2 interceptions a year, a lot of tackles.
333 tackles
in total tackles. That includes 282 solo and 51
assists. The worst I've ever.
That's still
heard.
pretty damn good.
And by the way, the Texans can't run the
football.
Look
up Zach Sanchez's numbers and tell me what those were, or give me another one of these bum ass
Bradbury
nickel corners that we. Bradbury's straight, but we got Sanchez. Remember, like all these bum ass nickel corners we drafted. And
hey, who was the sacrificial lamb in 2016 when Julio went off on us?
Ben Wickery.
Yeah, Ben Wickery.
You know what? CK, that might be the guy for the.
You think he'd be down?
Manager. I don't know if he would be down, but he's done an interview with me before. Like we've, I've gotten Demir Bird, I've gotten Ben. Like Ben, man, like fuck that. I think the team fucked him. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't even past that. Is that like we did some people wrong? If you want a checklist of people we did wrong, y'all can look to Steve Smith. Y'all can look at these people. I got some lower. I got some other people. Cameron Artist Payne. Cameron Artist Payne. Check one. Ben. Well, we did these people wrong, man. We put them in terrible situations. Galden was terrible.
I guarantee you, AJ
he won in that triple draft. It was James Bradbury, Zach Sanchez, and one other.
Rashawn Galden was a little bit later. Rashawn Galden was the year that we drafted. It was the first year.
Later, Rashawn Galden was Hurney. He was a Hurney.
It was Hurney's first year back after being rehired.
But that year that we rescinded the Josh Norman franchise tag, we went James Bradbury in the second. We went Zach Sanchez, and there was one other right in a row.
Wasn't it Corn? Oh, Daryl Worley.
That's it. You nailed it.
And for Daryl Worley, kind of went and did. He had like one good game for the Raiders later,
and then no one
but you know that one of the storylines following him was he fell asleep in an intersection in his car
in Philly. After we traded him to Philly for Torrey Smith.
And Torrey Smith is a bum. You know what? I would take Daryl Worley back.
Did Daryl Worley ever have an interception?
Torrey Smith did nothing for us.
He had a touchdown.
But by the way, back to AJ Bouye, like this Houston Texans team, they can't run the football. If you look at their stats, they have a bunch of good running backs. Dude, even this year, if you ask people that know this team, their offensive line is not good in run blocking. So if you add AJ
welcome
Bouye,
to the family.
We're going to
neither is ours.
All these players to play downhill very fast. And I think that's a nightmare scenario.
Dude, this is a blowout. This is like a welcome back Thursday night football. How about that? Thursday night football has been entertaining recently.
Yeah.
Generally, Thursday night football is the worst football in the world. And this week it is going to be when the Panthers put a 45-0 spank down on these bitches. It's gonna
No,
be the
but
most
Black
boring.
said, don't do that to us, Tony. He said, don't put that juju on us.
Cody, real quick, just so you know, man, the Texans have 242
Feeling
rushing
too
yards and
good.
3 touchdowns, and they're 11th in the league, and Carolina is 21st with 200 rushing yards.
Yeah,
and
they're
2
rushing the
touchdowns.
ball
And-
this
They're-
year.
they're a good
running
rushing
the
team.
ball this year.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they were talking about their offensive line being able to
It
accurately
was last
run
year
block.
that they didn't run the ball at all. They could not run
Dude,
anything.
if we're able
Don't
to
worry,
shut
they don't
down
have a
Alvin
quarterback. They're not gonna
Kamara-
be able to run now when we drop 8 in the box on them every
Right.
time.
Dude, if we were able to shut down Alvin Kamara, dude, I don't give a
I agree.
fuck
We have a great
who is
rushing defense.
behind
Yeah.
him, man.
Yeah.
I don't care who's behind them. We got to shut them down, take them out. Let's hit another
Right.
call, Tony.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, this is Daryl May from Tobaccoville. I want to say, really enjoy the
Did he
show.
say
First
Tobaccoville?
time caller, but
Hell
I've
yeah,
been
it's right next to where I'm at.
I love the fact that the show is for the fans, by the
Where I got
fans.
married.
So keep
Appreciate
up the
you,
good
man.
work.
Hold on.
Got a
I
couple
gotta
thoughts to share
rewind
with
this
you, man.
because this guy's
So
already
keep
my favorite
first-time
friend.
caller, but I've been
Yeah.
listening the last few years. I love the fact that the show is for the fans, by the fans. So
My
keep up the
man.
good work. Got a couple thoughts to share with you. First of all, our defense is fun to watch, and you don't want to miss a defensive snap because, you know, they're constantly getting pressure, consistently getting the quarterback, tackling really well, covering really well. It's just a lot of fun to watch. They kind of remind me of the 2015 offense where they're just playing for one another. They're, you know, playing
Ooh,
consistently,
interesting
they're
comparison.
celebrating one another, and they just have such a loose and free personality. On the other side of the ball,
I
we
like
have the
that.
offense. Sam Darnold, I think we've not seen the best of him. I think he's going to get better and better as the year goes on.
Yep.
I think he's going to eliminate a lot of the little mistakes that he has made. I think this offensive line is playing better than we thought. I think that left guard position does need some work. I don't know that Christensen is the answer right now. I think he needs some more time. Maybe Deontay Brown, not really sure there. But anyway, they're looking better. I like the
This
fact
is a
that
very
we don't have one
knowledgeable
receiver
caller.
getting a
Yeah,
lion's
it is.
share of receptions. Everybody's kind of getting targets. You look at how 2015 was with Cam. He spread the ball around. I think Donald's doing the same thing, and I think that's going to be good for us as an offense. So I don't think we've seen the best of these guys yet. The last thing I want to say is I'm seeing a lot of people talk about Teddy Bridgewater and where we should have just kept him. He's playing just as good as Sam Darnold is. If you watch the highlights, I don't watch the games, but if you watch the Broncos highlights, looks like he's getting a lot of yards after the catch. Looks like the deep ball is still falling short. A lot of them balls could have been caught, maybe taken to the house if he had thrown them where he was supposed to. So, and he's went up against the Giants and the Jaguars. So we'll see. See you guys.
Man, what a good call. Hell yeah, dude. Hey. And he's from Tobaccoville. That's right next to me here in Winston-Salem. That's where I got married at, was in Tobaccoville, man. That's what's up. So that's why it's great.
How
call.
about that? Is my man's first call slated? Give that guy high five.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give it out much. I had to go into a folder deep in my computer to find that applause.
You're a prude with these applause.
Yeah.
Yeah, and lazy with them. So that made me get it. Where do you want to start on the goodness of the? For me, favorite part of the call right away was the comparison between the defense, our current defense, with the 2015 offense, and I'm sure you can find a million reasons why it's like a flawed analogy, and you can find one reason, my reason why it's a fantastic analogy is, did you see them after one of the plays? I don't even know what defensive play it was. Maybe Brian Burns did something, and every defensive player goes up there and does the Spider-Man joint with him.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, like now they're all into watching Marvel movies. My man comes out with a platinum diamond. Have you guys seen this chain, this mug? Brian Burns wears a diamond.
It's
Spider-Man,
icy, bro. It's icy.
Shit is
real.
fucking dope, bro.
They
were all in there. They were all doing the celebration together. There was a comment right away. This mug had me hooked because that analogy holds true there for me. There's a fun that is happening. There is a energy. There is an excitement. There's a camaraderie. Love it.
Yeah, 100%, man. Like you said, the Spider-Man pose, everybody joining together doing that reminds me of the picture. You remember in 2015 scoring a touchdown and who Mike Tolbert in the front, and the whole offense gets together and they pose for a picture on the sideline. Man, this they're buying in. That's what it is. That's why this thing with Phil Snow is so good, because it seems like the team is buying in, and that's what you need above all, I think, to have any chance of being a competitive team.
Love it.
Yeah, man. Let's hit another one of these calls.
Let's do it. Good first call to the show, bro. You better come back.
We love first time callers, man.
It's your boy Jay Anderson. Y'all up.
My boy.
Want to send a congrats to the Panthers for getting, 2 in a row. I mean, I was surprised that, they beat the Saints, but Saints did have a couple of players out, but at the same time, even when you got a couple of players out, you still got to win the game. You still got to win those games.
Yeah.
So, Saints fans can say that. No, the Aints fans can say that we had our players, but there's been a lot of times when the Panthers had injured players, and the Aints fans was happy they got a win. So Panthers fans should be happy they got that win no matter what. If the team hurt, you're supposed to beat them. If the team is sorry, you're supposed to beat them. So, congrats on that. I like the defense. The defense looking good and stuff like that. Defense looking good. The front seven, they look good. I want to see the secondary get challenged a little bit, and
I agree with this. They haven't had much.
Have not been able to challenge them like that, So
maybe we
later
don't
on in the
want to
season,
see them get challenged. Fuck them.
I think a lot of people are
not our secondary,
really hype, and understandably so. Me, I'm like, I wait to mid-season to see how the guys do. That's how I always were. I always been like that. I always like to wait to week 10. Week 10 to week 17. Well, now it's 18 weeks. But, from week 10 on down, that's when you really see what type of team, them playing. Because everybody is going to be end up playing their best, during their time. The fake teams will be, out of the mix, and the real teams will begin to play. So, during mid-season, we see how they do. All right, Joe. Easy.
Appreciate that call, Jay. Hey, man. Listen, you have no control over who's in front of you. You have to play the team that's on your schedule. And by the way, shout out to New Daddy. This is Vegas. Thought the Saints were better even with injuries and COVID. So no excuses. If they like them better then the better team got their asses kicked. And that's what it is, man. And listen, even if we beat the Cowboys, even in the NFL's power rankings, they're only like 1 or 2 spots ahead of us. So even if we beat the Cowboys, we're looking like we're going to be in a scenario where the Panthers might not get a bunch of credit until later on in the season. So we have to be okay with that. Our team has to let that be a chip on their shoulder and fuel them, man, because you don't control who you play, but you have to go out there and make sure that you're prepared and that you put out the best Panther performance possible. And as long as they do that, let the NFL and the pundits and the media people say whatever the fuck they want, dude. We know better. This is a legitimate football team, and we're going to continue to prove that starting this Thursday night.
252-228-5098. That's the Cat Calls line. Let's keep plowing through.
Hey, this is Kevin from Charleston.
Or should I say
I just want to point out something that I've noticed. Our first game for the Jets, they had tons of injuries. The Saints, obviously, everything was going on with COVID and the injuries. This week, Tyrod Taylor probably not going to play. And then Dallas, with Lawrence out. This is like one of the few times I can remember in Panther history where injuries worked in our favor. Like, It's always against us. This is
Knock on wood, motherfucker.
I mean, it feels good to be a Panthers fan right now. Yeah, I haven't said that in a
Next
long
call.
ass time.
What's good, man? This is Gibbs, aka Notorious GIB.
What up, Gibbs?
Long time listener, first time caller. You
Appreciate
guys
you, bro.
have me cracking up like drunk uncles at a barbecue. But anyways, just excited about the season, man. How about JC Horn? I mean, they're scared of that guy.
Yeah.
They're even throwing to his direction. I was thinking like he's like a state trooper, He's got that seatbelt going, keeps people in check. He locks them down. He's a lockdown corner. He's either locking you down or he's either picking you off. So I'm starting a campaign for him.
He got to go to Halloween dressed like that.
Let's see. The campaign is going to be pick it or ticket.
Hey, I like it.
That's not even a thing. How about
click
it or pick it?
Pick it or ticket.
Pick it or ticket.
What he's either gonna do
This has to
he's
be
gonna
his
click that
Halloween
seatbelt, he's
costume.
gonna lock you down, or he's gonna pick you off. State Trooper JC Horn. Click it or pick it. Guys, keep doing what you're doing. Love you guys.
I like it.
Signing out.
We got two
Have a
of
good
these.
one.
Man.
We got two of these.
There you go.
First time callers coming in slaying.
Getting
Pick
the
it
applause
or
on the
ticket.
first try. I love it, man.
Pick it or
Pick it or
ticket.
ticket. Bro, that's the sheriff, man. That's the highway sheriff, man.
He's the state trooper. We gotta get JC Horn on this Panther. The C3 chat. Come on. You know what? If JC Horn don't do it, we gotta go all as state troopers this year. I'm gonna dress up as a state trooper this year for Halloween just because of that. Pick it or ticket. I love it, bro.
I like it.
I love it,
Let me see.
man.
I don't remember which call we were on. I do remember which call we were on, but I switched to that stupid applause. Lost my order. Not the stupid applause.
What's good, fam? This is
that was the one.
Gibbs.
All right.
Yeah, that was
Hey, boys, hoping you're having a good Tuesday night.
love that
Looks like
call,
the
by the
Panthers
way,
are actually
Gibbs.
good, and the national media is starting to give them a little bit of attention, not a ton. But it looks like most of it looks like, oh, the Saints had a bad game and the Panthers, got lucky. But I think the national media is starting to catch on that this defense is really good. I called in a couple of weeks ago and asked for some sacks predictions, and y'all didn't seem to think that we would get more than 40 collectively this season. Now that we have 10 in the first two games, do you want to change those thoughts a little bit?
Yeah,
It really seems to have
87,
been
baby.
sacks
Very much.
on a collective effort throughout the entire defense. It's not just one person. And then there's other players like Chin and Burris and YGM that I've seen in the backfield multiple times who are probably due for sacks as well. Other than that, y'all have a good night and keep up the good work, boys.
Definitely changed my number. Definitely changed my number. 100% wrong on that prediction.
I mean, I don't know what my number was, but dude, I've been saying since before. Like, listen, the good thing about doing a podcast is that
What's
if you
your
ever
new
don't
number is the
believe me,
question.
hey, if you ever don't believe me when I say that I've been on something, you can
Go get the
literally,
tape.
you can literally go back on this channel and see what I was saying when. Hell, even Greg was pulling up some of my old shit at one point in time, and we were going back and forth on it. But listen, I'm on record. I thought before this year that the Panthers would have one of the top defenses in the NFL, that this defense had a chance to be special. So I don't know if I predicted the sack number, but what they're doing right now, man, it's not really surprising to me. I'm just excited.
We're on pace for 85.
They are who we thought they were.
Yeah,
and I
look,
fucking love it.
I was
fucking
completely
love it.
Yeah, I was
We're on
completely
pace for
wrong.
85. What's your new guess?
62.
Mine is 287, bro. Nah, I think we're on.
Mine's over 9,000.
I think we're getting 86 sacks this year.
86. Wow.
We're on.
I don't
we're
think
on
we're
a
gonna
slow pace. I mean,
maybe. Well, here's the thing. I was completely wrong about the defense this year, especially the defensive line, based on what the performance last year. But you know what? I'll eat that crow no problem and sit here and watch these damn sacks. I have no problem with that. So.
Tony,
89 sacks for Steve. 89 sacks on the wall. 89 sacks on the wall. Take one down, pass it around. 90 sacks on the wall.
Hey, Tony, when you were asking that Johnson guy that we brought in, is that him, Leonard Johnson? 2000.
Yes, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, and he helped.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, man.
Leonard Johnson. Thank you, Robert. Finally. I said his name was Leonard, but and I was literal. It was not his last name. I referred to him by his first name when he came in. I was like, oh, nickel corner Leonard. Don't even deserve to know your last name. All right. 90 sacks on the wall. Gosh, that's awesome.
Hey. You already know who it is. Booyaka, yes,
He's
sir.
back, baby.
I would like to talk a lot about what the fuck is going on in Panther Nation. We need to calm the fuck down.
You started with
What the fuck are we really celebrating for? We've seen this before, boys. We have seen this before.
I'm just buying in.
Stop
Not
it.
this defense.
Stop it.
Baby, this defense is
with a rookie
different.
QB that just threw 4 interceptions against that fucking Patriots defense, which we got to play them in week 9. And now we play a fucking Saints team that literally are losing half of their team. I don't give a fuck. They were missing a lot of key players. And they had 9 coaches out with COVID. They've had 4 coaches on the sidelines to coach that entire team.
He was booyakaing us in excitement.
With Jameis Winston. Stop it!
Buzzkill.
Stop it!
Why
and
are you
fucking Panther Nation? You go through the schedule, bro,
baby.
and you go all the way up until
It's-
the Patriots game. Let the Panther Nation know what's after that game. The Cardinals at the Cardinals, the Washington fucking football team at Miami. Then we got the fucking Falcons. We know what that is. It's a toss-up. It's a divisional rival. Then we go at Buffalo. Then we play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then we play the fucking Saints, a fully rejuvenated Saints team in the later of the year, at the end of the year. And then we got the Tampa Bay again. We don't know for sure if we're going to beat the motherfucking Cowboys. We don't know for sure if we're going to beat the Eagles, the Vikings.
All right, I'm cutting them off.
But also, G-Baby, what did you expect us to do? To come on this
where
podcast?
did the real G-Baby go? Where did the real G-Baby go?
Yeah, but the real G-Baby, please stand up, because we ain't trying to hear that national media bullshit. If fans
he
wanted
needs
to
Cam
hear
Newton
that,
back.
if
Cam Newton was back, he would be.
if fans wanted to hear that
Cam
kind
Newton
of bullshit, you can fucking turn on ESPN or NFL Network or Fox Sports and hear them say the same dumb shit about the Carolina Panthers. Oh, wait a minute. You probably wouldn't, because they wouldn't even be talking about us.
No, he's right about the back end of the schedule being tough. We tried to talk a little bit about that. But now, I mean, I don't think maybe two is not hurt at that point, and the Dolphins are way better. But come on.
Well, I mean, at some point in time, man, you've got to believe and you've got to dive into this team. I mean, whether you can say who we played before is nobody. Look at how we've played, man. You've got to believe in the team at some point in time, and I get it. I've seen this movie before too, but I mean, based on what I've seen so far, I've got to go into it optimistically. You know, I haven't seen anything that's going to make me believe that we're a terrible team right now. If anything, I've only seen improvement. So why not be excited about that? I mean, the team is definitely improving. Yeah, we're 2-0. I mean, what else? Would you feel the exact same way if we were 0-2?
And also, he's pretending like we didn't, we didn't start the past 2 seasons 2-0. We didn't have the quarterback situation that we do now, but the kinds of
We
weapons
didn't
that we
have
do
10
now.
sacks in 2 games.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Right.
Guess how many sacks we had last year?
We
0.
didn't put up an all-time performance against a Sean Payton-led offense that was one of the worst of his career with the New Orleans Saints. Like, we fucking did that, boys. We did that. The Panthers did that. G-Baby, have a fucking Coke and a smile. Shut the fuck up and be happy. Tony Dunn, next call, brother.
Can you put that Mac comment back up? Because when you interpreted it for me, it's like I just once again say that our chat room is the smartest, awesomest chat room in the world. Thank you for your support. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Joey. Why the hell am I worried about the Texans? Like, honestly. But, I mean, I think it's a trap game because, A, the Panthers are on Thursday Night Football. You know how we perform there. Crickets. B, this is a trap game because all off season, the Texans ain't going to be shit. The Texans ain't going to be shit. The Texans ain't going to be shit. Maybe they won't be, but you know what? They put up 37 points on the Jaguars. Now, I mean, the Jaguars are no better than the Houston Texans potentially, but it's still 37 points. And for a team that's known to underestimate shitty opponents and play down to opponents, I'll wait and see, especially on Thursday night. I hope we get it done because, well, I mean, all the curmudgeons are going to be back if we don't, but
Yeah.
I mean, we can. It'll probably be like a Jets game. Like, why in the hell do we let them back in, but we still end up winning? I honestly don't know, and this is a trap game, guys. Has trap game written all over it.
No way.
And I think my girlfriend is in the chat room. So, yes, you could be as dirty as you want. Anyway, guys.
It might work later.
Did Joey just give us free reign to talk dirty to his girlfriend in the chat?
That's what it sounded like.
Is Joey a cuck?
Oh, maybe he's into that kind of
Do
thing.
not
Hey, we don't
man.
shame over here.
Next call.
It's G-Baby. And not to mention,
Oh,
we
here we
played
go
the
again.
fucking Houston Texans team, which were rated the worst NFL team before the fucking season starts. And
So do
now
you want us to
they're
change our
starting to be
schedule?
out for the game, and now we're playing a third-round rookie QB. So we're basing all this success off of two rookie QBs and Jameis fucking Winston that played with an injured-ass team with not even half of their coaches. They have 4 coaches to coach the entire fucking game. That's what we're basing this fucking success off.
Right.
And
Are you
goddamn
not
it,
happy
Cody
about the
Lack,
wins?
Motherfucker, please, bro. You damn near compared this defense to 2013? Bro, I don't even compare this defense to 2015 defense, man. Let's slow our fucking roll, fellas. We've seen this before. Let's not get our fucking hearts broken. We have seen this before, and we need to calm the fuck down and be humble, man.
Save this call for a week 6.
I love beating the motherfucking Saints. But
motherfucker
at the end
in
of
the
the day,
room is gonna
we need
tell
to
us
stay
to
humble,
calm
and we need
down.
to be fucking humble, man. We've seen this
Humble?
before. Let's calm down. Let's let this shit fucking ride, man. Let's let this shit ride, because I'm telling you right now, those last 8 games, not to mention, we still got Dallas, the Giants,
Dallas
all
almost
the
should have started 0-2.
Miami, the Patriots. Like, let's slow the fucking train, please, fellas. Booyaka, booyaka, booyaka!
How are you gonna start a call? My man got me so hyped when he came out.
Thinking G-Baby was back.
Yeah, he's telling
And then
everybody
he hit
to
us
calm
with
down.
all
All right,
this.
all right.
While
Here's
shouting, booyaka, booyaka.
Since G-Baby already has a distaste for Codizzle, I'll say this much. How the fuck are you a fan if you're not going to be heartbroken if this team fails regardless? Like, let's be honest about some stuff. We have seen this story before, and we have seen the downside of it, but we've also seen the upside of it. So we've got to be excited. If you can't be excited for this fucking team right now, what the fuck are you doing with your life? I know that right now you don't see Sam Darnold as the guy going forward. I get that, right? And yes, there are some real criticisms that you can take from what he did last year. And yeah, we're 2 games into this, and we're going against one defense that's supposed to be really good. Yes, they're missing a couple of key pieces, but you know, they're still the same defense outside of those 2 pieces that they were last year and the year before that, right? So I think it's fair to say this squad is better than we've seen in a while, at least since 2017. And that's 4 or 5 years of lackluster performance. We see this. This is the first time we started out 2-0 since that season. And we've, like I said, statistically speaking, we have seen this play out where we started 2-0, but it's very rare that the seasons don't go our way when it happens. Right? 6 out of 7.
We've been 2-0 7 seasons. And 6 of them, we made the fucking playoffs, dude. Like, if history is any indicator, Panthers
I swear we started
track,
2-0. And what did we start? Somebody look up the 2012 season when we had Antoine Cason and Deku. We started off strong there, and we sucked.
Yeah. Hey, look, I decided after this call, especially, that I'm doing a 6-week review. So after week 6, I'm going to do a compilation of all the videos, like of us, our predictions, what fans have said, this and that. And then at week 6, who's right and where we're at based on what people were saying then. And we're going to play it on this. It's going to be really fun.
No, we started out with the L in 2012. I feel like G Baby would be awesome to go tailgate with, but not go to the game with. And the reason I say that is that like the tailgate's gonna be lit as fuck, but we getting kicked out of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that at some point that tailgate gonna be fun as fuck?
He's gonna fight somebody.
I know G Baby we're gonna be. And, you know, when you roll with somebody, you got to roll with them.
You got to roll with them.
Next call.
And I really, this is G-Baby. So I got a lot on my mind right now because there's a lot of motherfuckers on this podcast that I have to fucking get at. I really do. We never praise Dante Jackson. My motherfucking MVP, my motherfucker that set the tone for the whole fucking defense was Dante motherfucking Jackson. The motherfucker that was coming up on around the motherfucking corner and stopping fucking Alvin Kamara right in his motherfucking tracks by his goddamn self.
He did
it multiple times. We never praise Dante Jackson the way we motherfuckers should. Just a year ago, all you motherfuckers, every single one of you, Greg, I can't speak for you.
I say, don't speak for me because I've defended him since day one.
Wanted Dante gone, and now they want to throw rose petals at his fucking feet. Like, come on, y'all.
Say that we want to throw roses at his feet.
Another thing,
we don't
giving Robbie Anderson that fat contract was the biggest mistake, and I've been trying to tell you guys this. He's a one-trick pony. If it's not a drag route, it's a fly route. That is it.
What is he talking about?
Look at where the targets are going. To the person that's always open. My man, DJ motherfucking Moore. The one that's been fucking with the Carolina Panthers. He's the one that should have got the fucking contract first.
Hold on. Who did he say?
That was a mistake. That is it. Look at where the targets are going. To the person that's always open. My man, DJ motherfucking Moore. The one that's been fucking with the Carolina Panthers. He's the one that should have got the fucking contract first. That was a mistake. That's a spit in his fucking face. We give it to Robbie Anderson after one fucking year? Come on, man. And last year, were we not saying how open DJ Moore was and the ball should have went to him, but it didn't because Teddy Bridgewater's a one-read QB and he went to fucking Robbie Anderson every fucking play? Like, come on.
Where'd he go to?
Like, come on, boys.
Didn't DJ have
sorry, my bad,
1,000
Cody, but
last
this
year?
is not anywhere near the 2015 or 2013. You want to know why? Because we don't have a prime Luke Kuechly and Thomas James in the motherfucking squad, boy. Like, come on, G.
G baby, you living in the
I
past,
started with
bro.
you, KK
This
Stewart,
ain't 2010.
Charles Johnson, and Greg Hardy, all in the front with Roman Hoffer and Mike Mitchell on the motherfucking back end, baby. Come on now. Don't ever compare this team to those teams, G. They got a lot to motherfucking prove, G.
All right.
I mean, I'm just gonna put this out here. The most sacks since 1998 in a Panthers' first 2 games of the season. I mean, against the Saints' offensive fucking line. G baby, I know you get emotional and I know you got some feelings, but bro, get on board or get off the fucking boat.
See, this is what I
the
want. Tony.
linebacker core, though, I mean, is again, this is what G baby does. It's like it's his mantra of way he does things.
Oh,
like
100%.
He goes like super extreme in the beginning, and then it gets a little more. It's like a roller coaster. In the end, he hits you with this. He hits you with, we ain't got Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis.
But listen,
and that's absolute fact, bro. Like, that's absolute fact. But that is not. I don't know how to, other than that, you're right. Is that if there is a weakness, I think, in a superstar level on this team, it's at linebacker. Right? Like we have superstars across the front four. Like, that's what I'm starting to think. Like, household names, front four. J.C. Horn. He's over here sucking Dante Jackson's dick harder than anybody. Right? Like, super, but
listen,
household
man,
names in the linebacker position.
This is my thing about G baby and C Dog in the chat. Like, hey, you can say whatever the hell you want to, man. Talk that shit if you want. But also remember to come back here when you're inevitably wrong, and we've been spitting truth at you this entire fucking time. Keep that same energy, bro. Keep that same energy when it's week 12 and the Panthers are still knocking dicks in the dirt. And then keep that same energy and call us back up and apologize and say, hey, man, y'all were right. We should have listened to y'all. This team is on some real shit. They're an incredible football team. Keep that same energy, man. And Jay's right. They won't. They won't, because all they want to do is talk shit and start a bunch of shit, and then they disappear when they don't benefit them no more, man.
All right, so if there's a kind of a concern on this team at times, it could be depth. But the place I'm not concerned about depth is on that defensive front. Like, I feel like we could just rotate motherfuckers in on that bitch and they just eating. Morgan, like, who you want? You want some Marquise Haynes? You want some? What do you want? Like, what do you want?
Yeah,
I mean, like, he's hurt right now. He's not gonna. He probably. I don't know if he's gonna play Thursday, but I did hear the Matt Rule press conference where he said, like, he's concerned with, like, these players won't play or they will play. He said F-line will not play. They put him on IR. He also said he was concerned about YGM. But, like, and we can't withstand some of those injuries at some other positions. And I don't want injuries on the defensive front.
Right.
But these motherfuckers, we just rotating and eating.
Bro, rotating and you know what? You're never going to have great depth everywhere. But, hey,
but if you want it somewhere, homie.
Hey.
Go ahead, Greg.
Well, I was just gonna say, can I say to G Baby with this call, you're talking comparing to the 2015 team. Not only have we held teams to less points in the first 2 games in 2015, we've scored more points, and we played Jacksonville and Houston in games 1 and 2 of 2015. Jacksonville ended up being 5-11, and Houston ended up being 9-7. So I'm just saying, you play who's in front of you. Did we play great teams in weeks 1 and 2 of 2015? We didn't, and we're still playing better. I'm just saying, I get what he's saying, but man, at some point in time, you got to dive in. I'm so tired of being a pessimistic Panthers fan. This is my year. I'm diving into them being a good team. I think they are going to be a good
year.
Team.
This is our moment. We're just in week 2.
Right.
Cody, Look, I saw Brian Burns and these cats. They and Reddick. They're they're reviewing plays, and these guys are in they're already in the 4-point stance. They're already like these mugs are so hungry. Like they're just like blow the whistle, motherfucker. I'm ready to go. Like these guys are sitting there, crouched up, athletic as fuck.
They're pinning their ears back,
scary,
man.
Dude. It's scary, like to see how
Tony
ready.
did listen to the podcast. They listen to this fucking podcast, man. Because I've been telling everyone that everyone on this team has something to prove. Nobody can rest on their performances from prior years. Everybody has to go out there with something to prove. And I'll be damned if our defense hadn't done just that, man. Everybody's getting a piece of the pie. Morgan Fox is coming through. Deter Gross-Matos, Daquan Jones, Davian Nixon. All these players that I just mentioned already have a sack for the football team right now, man. So it's like, you know, and again,
they're hungry as fuck, bro. They're young. Oh my God.
Dude, and they see themselves getting better. That's one of the things that Matt Rule said that I did key in on, is that he wants the players to see the results and know that all the time and the effort and the energy that they're putting in to getting better, that it's actually paying off. And it's paying off on Sundays with performances like we had against New Orleans, man. So, yeah, we're continuing to build. We're not perfect yet. And guess what? We're not going to be perfect after the Texans.
We're not even as good as we're going to be yet,
no, and we're still working towards it, man. But everybody wants instant grits. Well, man, it ain't fucking
Well, we got them. We already got them. This is instant grits.
Nah, we got fucking
We're about to get
popcorn.
some
What we got?
slow cooked
We got
grits.
microwave popcorn. Sorry.
Which I will. Greg, is there a better? The microwave was sold to people in the 50s and 60s. I don't know when it was, but they were like, you can cook a turkey in this bitch. You can do this. Like, I mean, there's one thing that the microwave does better than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's popcorn.
Oh, 100%.
Like, I'm sorry. Like,
unless you got Jiffy
Pop.
Jiffy Pop was pretty good on the stovetop.
Not even close. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like that's just because of the experience of the
back in the day. I would say, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, microwave popcorn is superior.
Yeah. The only thing that beats microwave popcorn is actual movie theater popcorn. Oh,
I don't even know about that. I actually disagree, man. It's too
well. You can buy good microwave popcorn, but it's the expensive kind. But it's still not expensive.
When I go to a
does
movie,
it perfect.
Hey man, when I go to a movie, I put the backpack on the back of my chair. Nobody says shit to my cripple ass. I bring whatever the fuck I want in that movie theater, bro. I don't buy
Taco Bell, hummus.
Cody, whenever I come down to the game, man, we're going to a movie.
Bro, I'm bringing fucking all kinds of shit, dude. Sodas, snacks, shit. Man.
Sodas,
bro. I bring in
12 packs.
I bring in some beers, man.
Have you guys seen the video of people who, like, if you take a ladder anywhere, they'll just let you in for free because they think you're supposed to be there? Have you seen that?
No,
that's pretty good, but it makes sense.
There was like they got into a movie theater. They got into museums. They got into fucking everywhere they wanted to go. Nobody stopped them. They were opening the doors for them. Like nobody said shit, and they were just able to do it.
That's awesome.
That's so brilliant. That's smart. All right,
it's cat's out of the bag now, though.
Hey guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City calling in again. Hey, KHL sports guy. I called in earlier today, and what I called in about is exactly what you guys are talking about now. Phil Snow. Many times I've said on your show, Sean Payton was the creation between Kenny Chesney and Nancy Pelosi. Well, now I know Phil Snow is the adaptation. He is the genesis. He is the creation of Al Pacino meets Robert De Niro. Take a look at him.
Holy shit.
I like that. I like that. I like these fusions that Chuck is coming up with, man.
These creations.
I like that.
Yeah, I can. How about this? Is that if you think about Nancy Pelosi and who was the other one? Somebody
Kenny
bad.
Chesney. You say Kenny Chesney?
Kenny
Yeah,
Chesney. Yeah, I don't know.
Chesney.
I mean, I do know. It's like a country musician.
Bro,
But
Nancy Pelosi is honestly fucking hilarious. That
It's
he
like
would
a
make
vampire.
that comparison, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Chuck's good.
But
with
my
the-
man said, and like that's the great. They're the greats. They're like the dope old men. Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Come on.
Ross said finally.
Call me
positive
up.
caller.
Call me up when you want to go into drama, Greg. And we hit the Heat, where Robert De Niro and Al Pacino were in the same movie, and one of my top 5 movies, Son of a Woman. Man, Al Pacino with the blind. He's playing Joey the Blind Panther. Y'all
Hey,
go
man.
watch Son of a Woman. One of the top movies of all time. I will take a flamethrower to this motherfucker.
Hey, we might get into some drama sometime, man. But if you want to get into something like that, I know somebody who lets you pick a movie and do a review on it.
Yeah,
you wanna
I
talk
like
about it?
Son of a Woman. Nah, but I gotta go see this Venom joint. When's the Venom thing?
Venom is next weekend.
Is it next weekend?
Yeah,
I still haven't seen the first
early
one.
release. You haven't seen the first one? It's my favorite superhero movie of all.
Well, we were gonna do a review on Venom.
Exclude all the Batmans.
I really like Tom Holland,
Venom's-
and I love
He's
Woody
amazing.
Harrelson.
Yeah,
I love Woody Harrelson. So the fact
The
that he's
first
playing
one is
Carnage
awesome, bro.
in this new movie, I'm pretty pumped.
We were gonna do a review for Venom this coming Friday, but there's just so much stuff coming out with Doom Patrol dropping Thursday and all the shows out right now. I mean, we're gonna do a review of number 2 instead because we've already talked about number 1. So,
Yeah.
but it's gonna be exciting.
I can't wait, man. All right, Tom. I liked it a lot. Let's say, how about this? It's Cody. Go watch that shit.
Which one?
Venom.
The first Venom?
The regular. Yeah, it's fantastic, bro. It's fantastic. It's like I would recommend it. Like I would recommend Dark Knight.
Yeah,
Venom
is
Dark Knight
high
is
level.
like
Venom is like one of the
but-
most legendary characters or villains that Spider-Man ever faced. He's one of the fucking coolest. So
They made Venom compelling.
He's an anti-hero. They made him an anti-hero.
Yeah,
just
kind of,
like
he kind of is in the
kind
comics.
of
Well, yeah, he always has
rooting
been
for the and that's
Kind
the
of,
point.
yeah.
You're kind of rooting for them a little bit.
Yeah.
They're doing some
He's-
cool shit, man.
All
They're
right,
definitely
next
doing some
call.
cool shit.
Hey guys, it's Joey again.
What up,
I just
Joey?
want to tell you a story that actually happened at the game. So I was kind of pissed at Matt Rule because all he kept doing is running McCaffrey, and you know, I knew we weren't going against the Jets and their coaches. And as much as we don't like them, the Saints coaches, they're good, even though they look like a mashup between Nancy Pelosi and someone. I can't remember who he said they look like, but anyway, yeah, I was sitting there and was yelling at, because you know how fans yell and like coaches could hear us. So I was sitting, and mind you, my mother was there. So I'm sitting there, and they said, "Come on, Matt Rule, have some nuts, will you?" And yeah, everyone laughed except my mom. She was like, "Oh, Joey," and I was like, "What? He needs to grow a pair. He's running McCaffrey all the time." Anyway, guys. Wow.
Rat Mule needs a pair of nuts.
Rat Mule. It's amazing how many people still don't understand why that's the case.
Yeah, dude, people were like going after me and CK in the comments of the Madden Center. Man, why they disrespecting Matt Rule like that? That's so uncalled
Because
for.
you're a hater, bro.
Like, no,
You're a
dude,
hater.
that Madden has him looking like a fucking troll person.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
bad.
nothing like him. So I heard actually CK
Like
was
when
the one.
when CK dropped that the first time, we fell in love.
Yeah, CK was
So
the
get
first
outta
one
here
that
with
like
that
said that name
nonsense. Like,
and brought it
people
to
don't
my
like
attention.
that.
And it just stuck, man. But listen, it's no shade. Whenever you hear me and CK do Madden simulations in the future, it don't matter what our record is, we're calling that man Rat Mule until they fix his image. And there's nothing
What a
anyone can do about it,
shootout.
dude.
What a shootout in this past one.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
It finally ended up being a nice little ending there, but yeah, it was. I can't. I've even tried on the first one when we faced the Jets. I tried to increase because I'm like they're giving our defense no credit, and like so I tried to increase the stats of our defense, and they still weren't letting our defensive line get home. Like nobody's able to get pass rush for whatever reason in that game on those simulations. And so it sucks, but it's actually not too bad. I guess at the end of the day, we're coming away with the wins. Madden is 2-0 in the predictions so far. If you guys haven't checked it out, no spoilers, go check it out over on the YouTube where we do the simulations. We dropped it last night.
Way more exciting than I thought. First they got Tyrod Taylor. They must have mixed Tyrod Taylor up with Deshaun Watson a couple of times.
Right?
This mug was just running everywhere. Good Lord. No, they are amazing. You guys got to check out these YouTube simulations before commentated by CK and
Cody when not short weeks.
Color analyst Cody Lashney, but it is they're so entertaining, dude. Like I can't. No wonder the kids. I make fun of my kids for like watching other people play Roblox. Like I get pissed at now. I'm like, why are you watching somebody else do something? And I'm like, man, when I watch this, I'm watching it. Like, I got my popcorn. I'm with Cody. I smuggle beer into the movie theater in his wheelchair. I am eating this popcorn. They've been great.
That's what you gotta do, man. Hey, real quick. Shout out Grim Reaper for the $5, man. We appreciate that.
Sure.
Thank you as always, brother. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, it's funny, Tony, is you talk about you used to pick on your kids for doing that, and I did too, man. For the longest time, they just watch videos about people playing games. And I'm sitting here like, how can you just sit down and watch somebody play a game and have fun doing that? And like after I said that, I came and sat down and to watch a football game, to watch people play a game, and I was like, well, okay, I guess when I really think about it, I'm watching somebody else play a game.
You know what?
It's kind of the same thing.
It brings memories back to me though about where there was like we used to play. I mean, obviously we used to play. We all play video games, but there's only 2 controllers. Right before the Nintendo 64, there were only 2 controllers.
Yeah.
And there'd be like 6 dudes. Like we're all like in 7th grade, 6th grade or something like that. And we having to sit here. I always laugh at this is that people watch people playing video games on the internet.
Yeah.
And we used to sit on the couch in misery waiting for the controller. Like, please, come on, give me the controller, man. I'm so sick of watching you play this game. I want to play. Now we subscribe to these mugs and these Madden simulations, though. I find myself just enthralled in them.
Oh, they're great.
I can tell with really your comments. You do like, even though it's not the.
I'm like commenting in game. I'm like, man, this defense is fucking.
Yeah, dude.
People are into it. Every time we post one, it gets a ton of comments, ton of views. Hey, people really love it, man. I'm happy that we're doing it, man. We're putting out a bunch of really cool content here on the C3 Panthers podcast, man.
The big time games
doing it too.
Yeah, the big time games I'm trying like so the Saints game I actually gave it full 15-minute quarters. And so it ended up being a longer video, like 42 or 43 minutes.
What do you like better? Do you like the shortened or do you like the longer ones?
I mean, the good news, like the Saints game, for instance, you kind of get like into it, and it was a close game, luckily, so it didn't get too long. But I feel like you have more opportunity for those for those better highlight plays and things like that when you have the longer games. But when we're playing somebody like the Texans, I did 10 minutes, right? And so I'm thinking like when it's a rivalry game, maybe I do the 15 minutes, and then like. It's like because that's going to probably hold people's attention more, or maybe if it's like a Patriots or a big time game or whatever it may be, maybe I'll do a bigger, the longer one. But I think for the most part, most of these are going to be just the 10-minute format where it'll be like a 30-minute video.
What do you think about D'Angelo Williams?
Hey, if he's willing to come on, I'd be happy to have him.
I feel like he could be the. Who is the guy that was the Patriots? Rodney Harrison, who always talked shit about Cam no matter what, like every Sunday night or whatever. Like, can we get you put out a tweet today and that said, let's get a guest commentator on this.
Yeah.
Suggest somebody. And I did something stupid. I suggested
Jimmy
Clausen. I know that's so ridiculous. I was gonna suggest Derek Anderson, but I'm blocked by him, so I can't do that.
Still.
But D'Angelo Williams, maybe we could get a contrarian voice in there. Would he just shit on us?
D'Angelo Williams?
Yeah. He would hate. He hates us now. He hates the
autographs.
Panther fans.
I
think that's who we. I think he would do it. I think that's the guy we can get.
I agree. I mean, what?
D'Angelo
I feel like he
Williams
would probably be in those obscure situations like that. I agree. Like, I think we're missing an opportunity with this podcast. Like, the more I watch, like the Jets, the Fly Like a Jet or whatever it may be. I can't remember what that podcast name is from the guy that always comes on.
Play Like a Jet.
Play Like a Jet. Yeah. Like they have actual NFL players constantly or former Jets that are a part of their show on a regular basis. The Green Bay guys, they have a Green Bay player, former Green Bay player that's constantly a staple on that on their show. And so if we can find somebody who is willing to kind of help, kind of take this in that direction, I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. It's just a matter of finding somebody who's still a former player who's passionate enough about the Carolina Panthers, but also is like, yeah, shit, I ain't got nothing else to do. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what they have to just
call Julius Peppers.
I got it. He's gonna answer my call. I got him. Don't worry about it, guys. I got it booked up.
Who is a guy? I've been trying to think of like all the
Mike
people.
Tolbert might be good.
Yeah, somebody put that up. We can't do Devin Funchess.
You guys gotta tag these guys in that tweet that I put out. Because I mean, like I can sit here and like
Coney Ely.
Yeah.
What about Coney Ely?
I don't know.
We need an offensive
what,
lineman.
2 years here?
We need an offensive lineman.
You think Ryan Khalil?
Jordan Gross.
Jordan Gross is already a part of the Panthers official stuff.
Too high name. We got to go after like a Byron Bell or something like. We need an offensive lineman. The reason I say that is because
Stewart might be good too.
Games. We watch all of these games being critical of the offensive line. Like, it would really be nice to have an offensive lineman tell me if they're as bad or as bad as we think they are.
Yeah.
We need a Mini Silatulu. No?
I'm trying to think.
Nobody's feeling
I think it's players.
We need an offensive lineman, man. And we can't go the Schwartz guy because he refuses to respond, and he thinks he's way cooler than he is. Geoff. I'm just gonna call him Geoff. Ooh, Trey Boston is legit. Trey Boston, that's the one.
You guys
is right.
The only thing I worry about with
this Mugwell he's still talking about the Panthers.
I agree. I'm not. I think, but again, it's a matter of getting people to tag them. Like, I mean, I can message them all day. But if there's like a real true interest from people, fans and everything, then that's when it's going to change that.
That's it.
So if
we got to get a coordinated effort for Trey Boston. Let's get him on the show first. How about that? Let's try to get him on the show first, just so we can introduce ourselves and then we can explain to him what we want to do.
We need to get all the controversial people that we can get. We need to get D'Angelo Williams on here. We gotta get David Newton on here.
You're right.
We see if we can get Derek Anderson on here and see if we can get him to unblock you on Twitter.
Let's do it. Not? I think we should start with Trey. I think that's a good.
I think Trey's a good option.
He's always been a real cool dude, super fun, down to earth, man. Trey Boston.
And we always liked him. He couldn't tackle in the beginning. And then he became a good tackler. Nah, man, like I'm down with Trey Boston.
Look, they said Kelvin Benjamin.
Good looking too.
Kelvin Benjamin. Pay him in cheeseburgers. Pay him in cheeseburgers and pizza. So
fuck? We'll give him some Bojangles.
Can we pay for it in gift cards to Pizza Hut? No. All right. All right. We've gotten through all the calls. We've gotten through a lot of material. We need to move on. Right now, actually, I want to bring back something real quick. We did not do it in the first 2 weeks. We got to make our picks for the NFC South real quick.
I completely forget about that. Yep.
I know. I was so mad at myself for
who's keeping
I gotta
score.
look up the schedule. But we gotta play this week.
Well, we
We're
haven't really
playing
done it yet, so we.
I know.
Start-
We're
start
gonna
this week.
now. We're
Who's keeping
starting
score?
fresh right now. I'll keep it.
All right.
All right.
I'll lose the paperwork. So
don't worry, I'll lose it too. You owe me like $90 million in $5 bets.
I don't think that's quite accurate. I need to go back and look at that. I'm pretty sure I won some of those.
Yeah, did you lose the paperwork? All right. Panthers at Texans. I'll just go first and say obviously Tony's taking the dub for the Panthers. I'm sure everybody is, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Could you imagine if any of us picked the Texans with a rookie
Greg, you
quarterback?
want to do some? G-Baby,
Hey, you know what?
G-Baby, you want to call?
G-Baby.
I will say I'm in a pick'em league that has 35 different people in it. It's $50 a person, and I'm number 2 in the league after 3 weeks. So just saying.
Are you picking the Panthers?
Yes.
All right. Hold on. When is I don't even know who's playing this week. I should have been prepared for this.
Hang on. The Saints play
who
the
is it playing?
Patriots. The Saints play the Patriots. I know that one right off the top of our head.
Is it at?
It's
Yeah,
New
they're
England.
at New England.
Yeah, I think it's a 3.5 point.
Did you see
New
the
England's
shit
3.5
about
point
there's
favorite.
a fire on top of the Saints?
I saw that. Yeah.
Did they put it out? I saw that this morning. I didn't get a follow up.
Stupid. I hate websites where they have the ads automatically have the audio.
You need
Yeah.
a pop
That
up
should be
blocker, bro.
illegal.
I've been trying to tell you, man. You need a pop up blocker, man.
All right,
I
Saints
can't
at
function
Pats.
without
Who you
mine.
guys taking?
Are we doing straight up or the line? Straight up, right?
Straight up, I think
Is it a pick 'em?
It's 3.5 point. Patriots 3.5 point favorite. So yeah, it's basically.
All right, so Cody's got the Pats. What do you got?
I'm taking the Saints.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I'm not surprised by that. I think the Saints could very well. I mean, I didn't see. I mean, the Packers weren't bad, but they weren't great against the Detroit Lions until it got to a point where they had to be. You know.
Who are you picking, CK?
I think the Saints are gonna come
on the road. You're picking the Saints. All right.
Yeah, it's better for
decision.
us. It's better for us if the Saints do win, because then it's a better win for us.
Falcons at Giants. This is how about this? This is the
two
worst
dumpster fires.
Game. Is this the worst game in the entire season?
No,
it's I mean, it
is there a game that could be worse than this?
It might be, man. But both of those fan bases are already talking like their season is a lost cause. People are saying Joe Judge should be on the chopping block. Dave Gettleman should be on the chopping block and out the door, along with Daniel Jones. Like, these are two hapless football teams. I don't see how this Falcons team turns it around, other than just to be an annoying division rival. You know, they'll play tough every once in a while, but dude, that's tough. By a narrow margin, a very narrow margin, I will pick the New York Giants.
Look, the Giants are not as bad as people think they are. Think about it. They just played the Washington football team, last week? Thursday, I think. And that's a fantastic defense. And they put up 29 points against them. So they're not a terrible team. You know, but based on that, of course, I'm taking the G-Men Giants because I hate the fucking Falcons. I don't think I'll ever pick them in a game to win.
CK?
I don't know, man.
I'm picking the
Giants.
Giants. Dude.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's a sweep. Look, then we don't have to worry about our points. I hate the fucking Giants right now.
Who's
I hate
why?
the Falcons more than anybody. You know why? It's because I got Saquon Barkley and he's been chugging D harder than anybody.
I got Zeke. Trust me, it's crushing. That was my first pick.
I never draft Falcons players. I never.
Well,
never
Saquon doesn't play for the Falcons. Like,
yeah, but you said the Falcons
number what?
too.
Number two is I got Josh, and this is the league, my dynasty league, like the league I won it last year. I'm on a Super Bowl hangover, homie. I was picked number 11. I picked Saquon at 11, and I said this because it's a dynasty league, and mugs have been keeping. It's more complicated than you give it credit for, folks.
Right.
Like, I mean, like people keeping all types of people from years ago, and that's how I won. But I picked Josh Jacobs at 13, and both of my first and the second round pick have one has just been sorry, and the other one's hurt. Like, I mean, I don't have anybody else after that. I'm trying to pick up people off the waiver. It's been awful.
I would have won my last fantasy matchup if I didn't have Mike Evans on the bench.
Yeah. It's kind of, I don't know what you did, man. It's like so many mouths to feed in Tampa.
Yep.
Here's my advice in fantasy football, and I've only won like 3 times in 21 years.
Don't overthink it.
Just start your starters. That's what I say.
Don't overthink it.
Start your starters. You drafted them for a reason. Don't overdo the matchups because great players play great in big games.
Yeah.
So, like Randy Moss is gonna eat 250 yards against the best quarter in the league. Don't be scared just because they got a defense. Play them. That's why you start them. Unless they're hurt, play them.
All right.
My advice. All right. We did our picks. Let me see. So, really, where the difference is going to be, we're all on the Panthers. We're all on the Giants. And we're 50% split between the Saints and the Pats here.
Yep. What about Tampa?
That's
they're
playing the Rams, right? Tampa's playing the Rams. It's a 1-point game. It's a pick 1 point spread.
That's a match right there.
Yeah, the Rams, or excuse me, the Bucks are favored by 1
Where's
in
it at?
LA.
In
Bucks
LA.
over 1 in
Rams.
LA.
I'm going Rams, baby. I'm all in on the Rams.
I'm going Rams
Cody's on
too.
the Rams.
I'm going Rams too.
Greg's on the Rams.
CK.
I think the Rams are going to put the Bucks back in their place. I've been rewatching some of that.
CK's with us. Oh my god!
I rewatched the Bucks.
The Bucks are winning now.
The Bucks aren't as dominant as people want to think they are. They just, again, they've faced some bad defenses, and you got to keep in mind that vaunted defense the Bucks have did let Dallas destroy them, completely dismantle their entire defense. So
I am picking
one of us. Come on.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They
Boom,
got Tom
bang,
Brady.
boom.
Dude, I think that the Rams might have a team that is
I
comparable.
gotta make a spreadsheet.
But dude, the quarterback puts it over the edge, man. Can't bet against that fucking guy, dude. Just can't do it, man. I've learned my lessons too many times.
Nah, I mean that's fine. No, I don't. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I just think Aaron Donald might eat Tom Brady's avocado ass.
You can't peer pressure me, damn it.
Nah, it's fine. No, I like this. It's fine. Like we can't. If we would have all gone Rams, the Bucks are winning. So thank you.
Yeah,
you
maybe
made the universe possible for Tom Brady to get his avocado balls eaten.
His avocado balls eaten, right?
Hey man, I'm here every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. You know, just doing my damn thing, taking one for the team.
So we did some picks, man. Holy cow, we're back there. Now it's time to ice some fools up. Yeah, guys, we had the post-game show after the game on Sunday. we'll have it Thursday, right? You guys with me?
I'm off Friday. I'm down.
Are you
Yeah,
with me?
man, you know
I'm
I'm
off Friday. I'm
down. What
down.
kind of dumb question is that?
It's
I'll be there.
okay if it's okay if you guys gonna split or like look, if you're with me, you with me. And if you're not, it's okay. You're still my boy.
I got you, man.
Thursday night, we got the post-game show. Tomorrow night is Wednesday, correct?
See.
Yes,
We
we
have
have
Josh
an interview
Klein.
with Josh Klein. Yeah.
Riot Report, beat writer for the Carolina Panthers. So bringing you content on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday free for all.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, man, Friday free for all, 7 p.m. every single Friday. That's where you can come and talk to me and talk to everyone else on this podcast, man. Everyone that's in the chat and tell us what you think about the Carolina Panthers. You can come on. You can be on webcam and tell everybody what you think. This is an interactive show for the fans, by the fans. Tony Dunn, I have a great time every time I do it. And I get to meet so many new Panther fans for the first time. I've met so many of the cat callers that were once upon a time just faces. Now I know them.
Voices,
I look forward
Voices,
to
yeah.
speaking to them, man.
Mhm.
Like, guys like this dude right here, Kevin Boshoven, Nick Montiero, AJ Lindsay. Man, I'm trying to see some more people, man. I'm trying to see Mark Lewin, Karen Choi. I want to see her in there one day. Daniel Castro. It's for absolutely everybody to come and talk Carolina Panthers. It's a good time. It's every Friday at 7 p.m. on the Friday Free For All.
Incredible. Let's go to the longest running segment of the C3 Panthers podcast, the Ice Up segment, where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up to get it together. It's our homage to Steve Smith, where everyone is fair game, from blended Nancy Pelosi and Kenny Chesney to a 12-year-old boy that I once iced up in Oklahoma. Fellas, somebody give me an ice cold ice up pick.
Yeah, I mean, unless somebody wants to go first, I got
a generic one, but
I got a real quickie. So listen, if you've I've said this on the podcast before. I'm a diehard MMA fan. I used to be a really big fan of this guy, but Conor McGregor has really taken a downslide, man. Losing to Dustin Poirier embarrassingly 2 times, but then he goes to the MTV Movie Awards, and he's like fighting with Machine Gun Kelly because he wouldn't take a picture with him. And
dude, by the way,
it was
Machine Gun Kelly is dating Megan Fox.
Yeah, but everyone thinks
Megan
that she's like
Fox,
the hottest girl in the world.
She used to be. I don't know.
Her dress, dude.
Yeah,
like,
she
I'm
was-
sorry.
she
I mean,
wasn't
I
even
ain't
wearing
saying
a
she's the
dress.
hottest girl in the world, but if she don't get your Panthers defense going, I don't know what will.
She get a sack or two. I'm just saying, she get a sack or two.
Well, listen, my man Conor McGregor cannot stop taking L's because apparently he got to throw out the first pitch at the Chicago Cubs game, and let's just say it went like this.
Oh no.
Like, that wasn't even kind of close. Like,
And
the
like,
dude
I'm
wasn't
like, he's
close to the
stretched out a
left.
little bit too for it, which is the messed up part. Look, he's like, I got
Like, you knew what he was doing.
Like, the difference here is he's a fucking athlete.
Nope.
Right,
Right,
yeah, right. Like,
right.
Yeah, this
Why
guy
is he
supposed to
throwing
know
a
footwork.
sidearm?
Dude,
He
I'm
ain't
telling-
ever thrown a baseball in
Look,
his
he's probably
life.
not even
That's
left-handed.
What happens when an Irishman picks up? A
No, he's
baseball.
left-handed. He
I
fights
know, I'm
southpaw.
just-
He's
yeah,
just
I'm
and
I'm a
look, maybe-
lefty.
I know, I'm just making it.
Yeah, someone tried to kill someone. He tried to throw it at somebody next to him.
Yeah, he's just mad at somebody.
Yeah, and dude, that's always what he's doing. Dude, he'll try and fight a bust before he fights a real contender. Yeah, I saw Conor McGregor. I used to be a fan of the dude, but I feel like all his millions has revealed the kind of person he really is. Great fighter, not as good as I thought he was. To Conor McGregor, ice up, son.
Ice up. I'll go. Nobody else wants to. Mine's
Do your
pretty
thing, man.
simple too. I'm icing up Mike McCarthy. I don't know if y'all watched the Cowboys game the other day, and the end of the game management was pretty shitty. And I'm not really icing up Mike McCarthy for the end of the game management. They ended up kicking a 56-yard field goal to win the game. I'm more or less icing him up for his excuse for why this happened. And it's one of those situations where you can absolutely tell he's lying the whole time. I tried to pull up the audio clip. I don't know if you've heard this or not. I tried to pull up the audio clip. I couldn't find it, but I'll just read it off. He says, the clock I was watching went off the board. And Kellen, who is the offensive coordinator, the clock he was watching was blocked by a cameraman. And that's the excuse for the reason why his clock management was bad in the last, 15, 18 seconds of the game, which is an absolute bullshit excuse. You're in SoFi Stadium. Like, you're in the stadium that's going to hold the Super Bowl. You're in the stadium that's going to have the Olympics in a few years. There's absolutely no way in hell, one, the board you're watching goes out. And two, if that one does, there's not one somewhere else within eyesight you can see with the play clock and the game clock on it. There's no fucking possible way. So it's a weak ass excuse. And dude, you might as well just say I fucked up, because I can't stay in here and somebody make an excuse like this. So like I said, I don't know if y'all heard this, but Mike McCarthy's a moron, it sounds like. And he got lucky that his kicker bailed him out in that game, because the Cowboys should be 0-2.
Somebody said one time that Mike McCarthy looks like the kind of guy to keep miniature sausages in his pocket.
Yeah. Actually, that's kind of accurate, actually.
Yeah, doesn't it? That's perfect.
So dumb.
He always has a Slim Jim on him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some meat on him at any given moment, dude. Some fucking snack meats.
All right. My ice up pick is a little more somber than these funny ones and these. All right, so I know it's my father had to have emergency surgery yesterday.
Oh no.
And basically almost died. Maybe you know what I mean? Like, I mean, who knows? You're hoping everybody's out of the woods. You hope things aren't off. I don't know. And that's what I'm icing up. And what I mean by that is that the COVID protocols have made it extremely difficult for families that are like, if you're like, they made my mom, first of all, my mom should not be up alone at the hospital,
right,
dealing with my dad. Like, she's not, and it's not a knock to Mama Dunn, is that like she's not capable. Like, it would just be better if she didn't have to wait in her car by herself, a 65-year-old woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just insane how difficult it is. And my ice up is that you don't know what you don't know, right? And what I mean by that is that my family is going through some things right at this moment, and like, I can't even go help.
Yeah,
like, I can't go help my mom. I can't relieve her. I can't try to interpret for the doctors. Or she had to put my dad's in ICU. He can't talk, right? I mean, like, because he's intubated and stuff like this, and it's not COVID related. Like, he had blood. It's different. It's just completely different. But she had to put the phone to his ear. Like, nobody even was able to see him before he had surgery.
Damn.
You know, it's just because they're like, you have to wait in your car. And look, I understand that the hospital is going through some extreme shit. I understand that they're understaffed. But like, if your father dies and you don't even get to like say, just say goodbye.
Yeah, man.
It's just like, she can't even come out and talk on the phone. And so we don't know what's going on. The person who is there is like the worst conveyor of information. And not because, like, I mean, she's like the most emotional and wonderful person. She's like the best person to be there. She'll be saying some damn Hail Marys for you all day long.
Yep.
But like, I mean, it would be helpful if my sister could just, or I could go and talk to these people and just find out. I don't even know. Like, he could be dead. So, ice up to myself for not having enough empathy for people who have been going through shit like this for the last 2 years or whatever it is. So
Yeah,
that's
man.
my ice up.
Hey, prayers up to your father, man. I lost a family friend last year during COVID. She didn't have COVID, but yeah, her family didn't even get to see her in her last moments because they took her away in the ambulance, and then they went to the hospital, and they wouldn't
They
even
make them sit outside, dude.
Yeah,
They say
man,
just
dude,
sit out there in the corner.
And then I went through that shit too. Right after Cam Newton got released, that was that day I went to the hospital when I had the flu. I still think I had COVID, by the way. But yeah, dude, we played hell at that Charlotte hospital downtown. So yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough on everybody. You hear horror
The
stories.
rule right now is this: is so my dad has to. All right, so they can only have 2 visitors a day. So like my mom is gonna be there, right? I mean, because her husband is in crazy in status. But like I can't, like, it was either my sister or me got to see him today.
Yeah.
And then he has to have a procedure tomorrow. So I told my sister, I was like, well, you see him today. I got like my kids trapped. Like, there's just be easier for you to see him today. But now I gotta wait till like he could be anyway.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Prayers up. I know.
Anyway.
Mama Dunn's got the rosary going.
Yeah, she will. She will pray. She will pray Lazarus. Lazarus.
I know.
Like,
Hey, she'll come on here and pray that you will leave that dirty mouth behind too.
Yeah, she
So,
will.
you know, she
it's
for
gonna
all
be
that
fine.
stuff.
It's gonna be great. I'm not even scared. Now I'm talking about it, I'm getting emotional. But my point is that as I have been very fatigued through all of this stuff, and I've been the first person to say I'm fatigued this shit, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. Is that are the protocols too much? Is this? I don't know. But I just wish that you know what? Prayers out to people who are going through shit and let them see their family.
That's right, man. That's right. CK, you're the
CK,
last
give
one,
us
man.
something a little more lighthearted than that.
Listen, this is just generic, all right? And it spawned from a cat call tonight. If you are a Panthers fan, be fucking happy about where the Panthers are at. We are 2-0. That's the first time we've been 2-0 since 2017. We've been complaining, we've been bitching, we've been saying we need success, we need to be able to go into a
G-Baby's
season.
part of the 4-man rush. That's what I think.
Right? Yeah, here's the thing. We are going into, listen, when we start the season off, this is what you fucking hope for. This is what every team, you know, there's like 6 teams that are 2-0 right now. You know, that means there's 26 other squads out there that would love to have their team in this fucking spot. All right.
Yes, sir.
So here's the deal. Be happy about where this team is at. Continue to cheer for this team. Continue to be a Panthers fan. And if you don't want to do that, that's fine. But you don't need to call in and take down everybody who is actually happy about where the Panthers are at.
Hit him with the applause. I like it. Yeah, hell yeah. I like it.
Love it. Love it. Tell them, CK. Let these hoes know, man. Be thankful you got a 2-0 football team.
Already one game ahead of 26 other teams.
Listen, I'm not even.
There's a lot of hardcore Panther fans. When I say hardcore, people that are influencers,
right?
And all they do is poo-poo.
Right.
They poo-poo everything.
Right.
I understand. Like, it's okay what is that? Real, keep it real. What they say?
To be well, I have to keep it real. I guess be pragmatic.
Like, I mean,
about,
keep it 100.
Look, is Matt Khalil suck?
Yeah,
we all knew that shit. But we won't get in 20 sacks up in that motherfucker at the same time. Like, come on, folks. Like, this is exceeded expectations.
Yeah,
by far. Why do some people poo-poo everything? I don't know. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. Like I actually have a couple of people that claim to be Panther fans that I say this, and I don't think you really are. I think you're truly rooting against us. Like you just you're an Atlanta Falcons fan. You're a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the part that I want to make abundantly clear. And I said this earlier, and I want to step away from this because I don't want this to become the narrative as Panthers fans. I said, if you're not, on the train and ready and happy about where we're headed, get off the fucking bus, right? That's here's the part, right? You can be a Panthers fan, love this squad, and feel the way you feel, but what you can't do and what you shouldn't do, and what I'm personally going to tell you we can't have as an entire organization, it's calling in and trying to convince the world that's Panthers fans that they need to be on the same level that you are. If we're fucking happy, we're happy. Ain't no need to come in here and try to bring us down to your level. If you're miserable about where we're at as Panthers fans, as a Panther squad, you go ahead and be miserable, but be miserable in silence. That's all I'm saying.
Thank God you're not in the Panthers creator group.
Oh God.
I'm telling you this is you don't want to be part of it, is that somehow we've been brought into this. Cody, every day of my life, I think I should leave this group. It's like the most miserable group of people.
During the game, I checked in there, and somebody was. It was while we were throttling the Saints, mind you, and somebody was bitching about something. I didn't even look
the
at
hands
what it was.
play. They'll be like, "Look at that hands play." I'm telling you, these 4-man rush people. I ain't even.
But it's not all of them.
Hide
It's
it.
really
I can't
just
hide it
2 of
anymore.
them, man. It's really just 2. Like there's a few guys from the 4-man rush that are really fucking cool, and then there are 2 that argue about every single thing. There's like 7.
I don't
guys
care about if they're cool or not. I ain't ever somebody be like this. As you get some ice cream, you'd be like in the desert, like you're in the desert, and you've been walking, crawling out of this.
I don't want no damn ice cream.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you get somebody hands you some ice cream, and they'll be like, "This ain't Breyers.
This ain't
this shit
gluten-free."
sucks." And it's like, yeah, it's too much, bro. All right, we've done the ice up picks. We did the picks. We got to get the hell out of it. This is our longest show in a minute, too.
We were in.
So look, we had a great audience tonight. We've been cresting 100 people. The people love the Madden simulations. Tomorrow night we got Josh Klein, Riot Report, a lot of content coming to you. Friday free for all. We thank you for your support in the chat room. The number is 252-228-5098. Smash the thumbs up button. Be a part of the community. That's what it is. It's not a show. I don't want to tell you what to think. I want you to be part of our community. Cody Lashley, how can they find you on Twitter or wherever you're at to continue this conversation?
Yeah, man. Find me on Twitter at Cody Lax, CODYLAC. I'm really good at responding to people. I'll write you back. I'll DM with you. Hey, man, I'm an approachable kind of guy. You can find all of my written content on drafttech.com, where I'm the Panthers analyst, and I write first and second round comments for the Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans, by the way. So I had to do a little crossover right up this week. And as Tony already alluded to, the Friday free-for-all. Every Friday at 7 p.m., that's your opportunity to be a podcaster. You can come on and tell me whatever you think about these Carolina Panthers, whatever your hot takes are, whatever matchups you think are interesting about this football team. The Friday free for all is for you. Friday at 7 p.m. Come holler at your boy, man.
Shout out to JD, Yo 54, Kieran, Troy. You guys are important to us. I see you in the chat room, always contributing, being a part of the conversation. We ain't born negative. We born positive, baby.
Yeah.
This motherfucker gonna blow out the Saints. CK, where can they find your work?
You can catch me all over the place. Coach Dizzle Allen. But right now, I think my biggest pride and joy is this Madden simulation. I know we talk about it a lot, but I think we, like I said, I think we as a community, as a family, need to try to help blow this up. Not for my sake or the C3 Panthers podcast sake, but I think there's a lot of Panthers fans out there that would probably enjoy this, and I think it can. I think it could be something, especially. We start getting some special guests. So do me a favor, go find me on Twitter, Codizzle Allen. I put a tweet out, or even look at Tony's. He retweeted it a while ago, tagging who you think should, be a guest commentator with me and Cody. Maybe one day, maybe we throw it to a sideline reporter and let somebody like a, D'Angelo Williams or a Trey Boston or maybe get Tony done and then Greg up in there. I know Greg said something he was interested in doing.
Trey Boston to be the color. I think it'd be great.
I think it would be amazing if we can get him in there. But you guys just make sure you go do that. Blow that tweet up, and then maybe we can actually see some movement from some of these guys who maybe look at the C3 Panthers podcast that as maybe a lower form of media and show them, hey, listen, we're a community of Panthers fans that are more dedicated to this team than most. So,
creating community. That's what we're doing. We're creating. And that was like a tongue twister. Creating community. It's not about what I want to tell you. We are riding in the car, homie, to the game and back from the game. Greg, you're part of this community. How can they find your work?
Oh man, you can find me at the BatDaddy52 on Twitter is my personal handle, and you can check me out on my other show. It's at SCS Podcast One, the Super Civil Servants Podcast. And Tony, it's fitting that you ended with that comment right there because my show is modeled after yours and combination of a couple of the shows, man. But that comment right there years ago, I heard you say, was what inspired me, or part of what inspired me to do this. Is what I wanted to feel like. It's a great community, and I love having that. And come check us out on Fridays, man. It's like I said, it's modeled after this. It's just guys hanging out, or guys or girls hanging out. We talk about movies, shows, graphic novels, comic books, any kind of media. Right now, we're covering Stargirl, Titans, What If, Star Wars Visions, Lower Decks, Doom Patrol. I've got two guys coming on who are creators, a comic book writer and an artist, that are premiering their comic on my show this Friday. We're going to review that. I mean, we just go all over the place, have a really good time. 9 p.m., roll right into that after the Friday free for all if you want to, have a whole night of podcasting, listen to us talk. So it's a really fun time.
Hey,
help us get Trey Boston, folks. Look, people are ready for it.
Hey, last thing, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, man. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers. 3,000. Come on, that's a big deal. Tell somebody.
And we're starting to roll. Come on, man. We need to roll up on these mugs.
You know what's funny?
Think
about this.
Up on some of these YouTube channels. How we only at 2,500 or whatever? Come on.
Listen. Think about it this way, Tony.
Roll.
Just when we traded for Darnold, we just hit 2.
Yeah, that's a big spike.
We had 100. We got those Madden simulations popping shit.
Are they? I don't know the metrics.
I think so.
Dude, it's fun to watch.
Content, I think it's about popping the content out. Pop. You're putting more and more.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm hoping that the algorithm with YouTube will start to say, listen, these guys aren't just a once a week, type of content. They're putting this stuff out. Off season's probably going to get a little tough because we got to figure out some creative ways to put more things out more frequently. But and that may be what hinders us. But I think for the most part, we're doing what we need to.
The thing I love about our metrics is this, or analytics, or whatever it's called, is that we might not have the most subscribers, but if you look at our views to subscribers,
we're rolling with it. We got loyalty.
It's like you have somebody that has 12,000 subscribers and they get 2,000 views, and you got someone that's got 2,500 subscribers and they get 2,000 views. Everybody,
Well, yeah,
y'all are
this
part of the
Yeah.
fam, homie. You're just like
This-
this. Get in the
this-
car. We're going to the game together, motherfuckers.
That's it, man. C3 family, we keep pounding real hard. And by the way,
So
this will
late.
be like the third time that we've done a video where we're gonna end with way more likes than we even have viewers right now. So, hey, that's a
Boom.
good sign.
Boom.
We're
And
doing
now we
something
gotta
right.
go to bed because we gotta go to work tomorrow, folks.
That is true.
God,
I do.
first take it. We got families. We got to get out of here. We love you. Panthers, dominate. We'll see you Thursday night, late night. Until then, keep
Pounding.
Pounding.